When you need medical care, ask Centera Medical Group first. Whether by phone, a virtual visit, or in-office appointment, our offices are open, following strict safety guidelines and implementing additional safety measures to ensure you are safe and comfortable. From minor illnesses to more complex cases, our comprehensive care teams are available 24/7 to deliver the quality, personalized care you need when you need it most. Don't wait to get the care you need. Ask Centera Medical Group first. Schedule your appointment today.
At Centera Medical Group, the patients that come to see us know we see them as people. We're utilizing innovative treatments and technologies to provide you with comprehensive, individualized care. For a lifelong partner in healthcare you can trust, Centera Medical Group will be here for you. Schedule your appointment today.
Well, good evening and welcome to Peninsula War Memorial Stadium here in Hampton, Virginia for tonight's Coastal Plain League contest. Featuring the Peninsula Pilots as they welcome in their interstate rivals from up in Colonial Heights, the Tri-City Chili Peppers. This is Frank Edgar, along with my partner Brian Waller here to bring you the Centera pregame show. Thank you to our friends at Centera for making this possible. Thank you for the weather to make it possible that we get a game in tonight. Brian, you were here at the field about 5:15, 5:30. Was the rain worse here, or was it worse for Noah?
I mean, it's pretty close. I mean, it came from out of nowhere, and it hung around for probably 30, 45 minutes, but it was just downpour. I mean, there were puddles all in the outfield. Dugouts were flooded. We were all wondering if we were going to be able to get a game in tonight.
Well, I have a couple comments on whether we get the game in tonight, and we are going to get the game in here. First pitch supposedly at 7:30. 5 years ago, we would not have played because we did not have the artificial turf infield.
Right.
We did not have the regraded outfield with the new drainage. That has flipped around. But I'm going to say with the amount of rain we have and still have on the ground, the warning tracks have puddles. But the field of play is in good shape. I'm sure the footing in the outfield is going to be a little cautious for the outfield, but not bad. The other comment is if this game was in June, the first week of June, we would not have played.
Nope.
Pilots and the Chili Peppers were rained out last night in a doubleheader, a scheduled doubleheader, and I think at one point you thought if they didn't play tonight, we would be looking at as many as 3 doubleheaders headed down the road to try to finish in July against the Chili Peppers. Now, for this ball game, Pilots 4-7 against Tri-Cities this year. These games in the first half doesn't matter.
Right.
Second half matters.
Right.
And the Pilots are much better in this second half than they were in the first. They are leading the Coastal Plain League's Eastern Division, 6-2 record.
We're in second. Holly Springs jumped up.
They're 9-3 though. Same essential record. In other words, same 750. Yeah, 9-3, and we're 6-2 tied. Wilson 5-4. Morehead City has come back, roaring back. They won the first half. They've won 2 in a row. They're 6-5, and the Tri-City Chili Peppers 4-5. Mm-hmm. Now, what does that mean for them? Well, they too essentially have to win. There are some tie breakers where they could possibly tie Morehead City or finish second to Morehead City in this second half and make it. But as the season goes deeper in the second half, those become fewer and fewer.
Right.
For the Pilots, it's a simple, you have to win the second half to get to the 4-team Pettit Cup playoff. They are not going to win in any sort of tie. It's going to be outright. Holly Springs has broken out. They played 4 more games of Pilots.
Yep.
How do you think that impacts on this second half?
I mean, it's going to impact because then clearly they've already played more games, so they're going to have more off days in the later part of the second half than we will. But as all the guys are saying, they can't look at the records. They just got to come out and win every day.
Well, that's been the mantra since, the week and a half before the end of the
Yep.
first half where they started winning games and then crossing the halves. They won 6 in a row. They're playing great baseball. They have played very well here at home, scoring 5 runs in the first inning of the last 2 games here at home. Once was against Tri-Cities.
Right.
And once against Martinsville. Martinsville's still the dark horse. Even though they're in the West Division, they took a game from Tri-Cities of this past weekend, and then Pilots get a win against them this past weekend. So you can see that right there is a 2-game shift. It's important to Peninsula. So hopefully the Pilots can get the win tonight and get so they can play Holly Springs a couple times, defeat them and catch them, or at least move ahead statistically. We're 4 games behind, and given the weather, Brian, I'm not sure any team is going to get every game in this year.
Oh, no, it's going to be close. I mean, Tri-City said they've got doubleheaders lined up the rest of the way. We've got a couple lined up, so it's all going to be about just hoping you can get games in on time so you're not playing 2 games in one day.
And for the Pilots, they come in with they have their strong suit ready to go. They're wearing the all orange tonight, which I'll call their strong suit. Mason Dunaway comes in hitting .529 against these Chili Peppers. I was just talking to our friends from the booth. That's their big guy that they fear.
Right.
Ours has been Brandon Ike. Brandon Ike from VCU, and I'll give you his stats against Peninsula. They've been terrific. Ike, and I'm going to get to that page, Brian, hitting .452 against the Pilots, but with 4 homers and 16 RBIs. Between him and all-star Michael Dolberry, they're the big sticks against the Pilots. Now, the news tonight, you got it live right here on the Centera pregame. Brandon Ike is done with Tri-Cities this year. He is headed to the Cape Cod League. Someone up there found him, called him, and he's on his way to the Northeast. Congratulations to Brandon Ike. You have been something to play against for the last 2 summers. This year in particular, but we wish you the best. Although we're not going to lament your loss too much here. We're glad to see that you're not hitting that number 2 spot in the lineup tonight. I'm sure you got some teammates that can step in, but we wish you the best. For the Pilots, we got to get through this. We got game coming up this weekend. We really got to play well. And this no better time to start than right against our rivals. Mike Calden getting the call tonight, the all-star pitcher. Obviously, that means he may not pitch 2 nights from now, depending on how long he goes here. But he's more important for the Pilots, and we've seen him, 2 sides of him against Tri-Cities. We saw him that first win with the 2 innings where he held the 1-run lead in Tri-Cities and gave us our first win of the year. And we've seen him on a night where he just couldn't find the zone. You saw him up there the night. What do you expect from Michael tonight?
I expect him they're just going to throw him as long as he can go, I would imagine. Might be 1 inning, might be 2, might be 3. But I don't think we'll see a super long start for him tonight. But if he can come in and pound the zone, then there's nothing you can complain about because when he throws strikes, he's almost untouchable.
He certainly was that one night when we were clinging to a 1-run lead, having surrendered a 7-run lead. We were clinging. We got ahead thanks to Justin Stark, who has got to be another guy they don't want to face, and they have to face him tonight. Michael Calden, 1-1 and .482 ERA against the Tri-City Chili Peppers this summer. Really been the most challenging team he's faced all year. Now, I'll mention lastly, Prince George native Justin Stark, the VMI key dad, who plays equally well here and at Shepherd's Field up against Tri-Cities. He's homered twice in the last week. We expect big things out of him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's, playing second base tonight.
Second base.
So a little different look for him defensively, but we know he can play second base. And he's just got to keep taking good at-bats, swinging at balls he knows he can drive, and just keep the hits rolling.
So good-looking. We'll give you the lineups when we come back for the full broadcast, but good-looking matchup tonight despite the weather. The weather seems to have moved to our east. Everything is soaked in Hampton, yet War Memorial Stadium stands. The fans were coming in. As soon as the Lightning moved more than a mile away, they came in, and we'll be ready to go in a few minutes. So we're going to thank our partners at Centera. Thank you for sponsoring this and sponsoring Pilot Baseball. We'll be back in a minute with the starting lineups.
When you need medical care, ask Centera Medical Group first. Whether by phone, a virtual visit, or in-office appointment, our offices are open, following strict safety guidelines, and implementing additional safety measures to ensure you are safe and comfortable. From minor illnesses to more complex cases, our comprehensive care teams are available 24/7 to deliver the quality, personalized care you need when you need it most. Don't wait to get the care you need. Ask Centera Medical Group first. Schedule your appointment today.
At Centera Medical Group, the patients that come to see us know we see them as people. We're utilizing innovative treatments and technologies to provide you with comprehensive, individualized care. For a lifelong partner in healthcare you can trust, Centera Medical Group will be here for you. Schedule your appointment today.
Well, welcome back to Peninsula War Memorial Stadium here in Hampton, Virginia for tonight's Coastal Plain League contest. The Pilots, and they're all orange tonight, welcome in their rainbow neighbors, the Tri-City Chili Peppers, and they're all red. Umpires in black and gray, crowd in utter delight that they get a game in tonight. We have been, as we mentioned in the Centera pregame, we had a deluge in about 5:15 was really its height. We had easily 2 inches of rain in about 30 minutes here in the Hampton area. Interstate had an inch of water on it as I was coming down the street. And so they've been out since about 5:45 getting this field ready. Remember, artificial turf infield now for War Memorial Stadium. Natural grass with new drainage in the outfield. Warning track still a little wet. And through the efforts of both teams, we were able to push that huge boat off the field that had the two pairs of animals. It was quite a sight to see. You took the fence down, pushed the arc off, and put the fence back up, and we're ready to go. It was that level of rain. Brian, last night they had 4 inches in 15 minutes in Pennsylvania, which led to a family being washed away, and I sure hope they found the children alive today, and we send our prayers out to them. We had that kind of rain, but I don't think, certainly not 4 inches in that 30 minutes, but it was really close. For the Pilots tonight, they're throwing Michael Calden, the strong pitcher. He's making his third start again, and second, I believe, against these Chili Peppers. He's thrown 16 1/3, so he's been a reliever most of the season, and he's made the All-Star team as such. 12.1 innings, only 12 hits in those 16 innings, 10 runs, only 6 earned, 29 strikeouts. With the last outing against the Chili Peppers, he surrendered too many walks. He's given up 13 this year. If he eliminates the walks, the Peppers have had difficulty with him this summer. For the Peppers tonight, Marcus Goodpasser is on the hill, making his 5th start of the year. He's thrown 19 innings during his career at Tri-Cities, given up 21 hits, 13 earned runs. He struck out 12 and walked 8. 2-1 win-loss record and 6.15 ERA for Goodpasser. So good pitching matchup here. Now for the big news, and we mentioned it in the Centera pregame, Brandon Ike, the all-star third baseman for the Chili Peppers, has departed the team according to his people here, and he does have people here. Had a heck of a year, named an all-star, but got the call from the Cape Cod League. And I guess after the draft, they lose a lot of players, and they start looking around to fill some gaps, and they contacted Brandon Ike, and they took him. And so we wish him well, and he's off to that adventure. That means guys like Miles Webb, Alex Christie, Avery Neves, guys that have played against the Pilots are going to be counting on more for Tri-Cities. The Pilots are just glad to see that 475 average against them this summer go away, the 4 home runs go away. So it'll be interesting to see if the Peppers, who they count on to provide that offense. For the Pilots, the offense rolling along, and you'll see that being rewarded. course, the leading star for the Pilots, Mason Dunaway, hitting .411 with 20 RBIs. The JMU Duke having his third summer with Peninsula as his best. Justin Stark has been tremendous against the Chili Peppers. He's at second base tonight. He's one of those guys, Brian, if this was a softball team, he would volunteer to play short field just to get in the lineup. Oh, Henry Garcia is in right tonight. Trey Morgan back in the lineup as the center fielder. He's hitting the 7th spot. And then Ethan Ott, who homered the other night, he's in the 8th spot tonight. Now, the one home run hitter we failed to mention in the game the other night was Barham White.
Yep.
It's his night off as catching. Cole Stanford behind the plate, but Cole also has power, and he, too, he's in the 9-hole tonight, hitting .345 on the season. So the batting averages tilt in the Pilots' favor, and but it's always been a good game. They're 4-7 against Tri-Cities, and if they continue to play ball like they've been, and they can catch and maybe pass them and maybe 8-7 split on the year, I think you'll see that will correspond with a second-half win for the Pilots and a Pettit Cup playoff spot. But there's lots to go with a 6-2 record. So you see the teams there, that orange. That's a good matchup for the all-red. Of course, the Chili Peppers can wear an all-green, all-red, all-black.
All-blue.
They have a blue one, too? There you go. So you never know what uniform you're going to get up at Colonial Heights. But a good matchup tonight. It looks like sand out there behind second base tonight, just to dry that off a little bit. Where the second baseman usually stands. You can see it right there as Brian gives you a look. Otherwise, the field looks great. I know the outfielders going to be a little cautious tonight, but, of course, the veteran Trey Morgan in center field, Pilots aren't giving up one step. Avery Neves he's the center fielder tonight for the Chili Peppers, and he's a veteran and has been here before, so it should be okay for the outfielders. So if you're scoring at home, let's give you the Pilots lineup. Hunter Cole, the Old Dominion Monarch 2B, back in the leadoff spot. His first night in the leadoff spot was 2 nights ago when he had single, double, walk in the first 3 at bats. Ends up 2 for 4. And he's back in there hitting .288. Henry Garcia in right field tonight from Howard. He's hitting .272, and he'll be followed by Mason Dunaway. Mason, I don't know what to say about him other than he's been superb all summer long. JMU Duke hitting .411. Justin Stark in the cleanup spot tonight. Ryan Dooley, the JMU Duke, hitting .289 with 24 walks to lead the club. He hitting 5th. Chris Martinez, the Dominican Republic native, playing at University of Sciences Art, Oklahoma. He's at third base with 16 RBIs and 5 home runs, including at least 1 against the Peppers. Trey Morgan in center tonight, hitting .278 with 8 RBIs. Ethan Ott, the designated hitter, and Cole Stanford, the catcher, and the pitcher tonight, Michael Calden. For the Chili Peppers tonight, a familiar lineup without Ike. Danny Estrada in right tonight, Cameron Miller in left. Michael Dolberry, the all-star, at designated hitter, hitting third. Avery Neves in center. Cole Garrett, the other all-star from he too from VMI. He's the catcher. Alex Christie from Hanover at shortstop. Eli Wiesner at third base tonight from UNC Charlotte. Miles Webb from Randolph-Macon over at first. And Dalton Hurst at his usual spot, middle infielder. He's at second tonight for University of New Orleans. The pitcher, Marcus Goodpaster from Hanover. We're going to pause for the national anthem here. Players are sweaty and wet, having ridden out this rain in the dugout, most of them. And we'll see everybody come out. It's a handsome uniform. It's a darker orange that you see a lot in pilot stuff. And are these the 2 young ladies from the other night? The ones that had the harmony?
Might be.
All right, you're in for a treat. I'll pause and let you listen to people that know how to sing. I think the Pilot fans have found their favorite national anthem singers
yeah.
for the year. So Wube is on the phone now telling Adele's people, forget it. We don't need you for the next home game, which is Saturday night. Adele, we're sorry. If you want to come and sing with these young ladies, just give me a call, and we'll be sure to line you up for them. The other night with that kind of singing, I think, didn't we put 5 in the first on there? Yeah,
we did.
So don't want to break that streak. Michael Calden makes his way to the mound, and he's got a baseball, and he's ready to go with his battery mate Cole Stanford tonight, the right-hander. You'll see him out there. He's a hard-throwing young man and has had great success and one real strange outing against these Chili Peppers. He's from Matawan, New Jersey. He's 6'3", 220. He's solid, to say the least. Rising junior at Felician University. So Mike Calden on the mound, the all-star pitcher. 6 pilots on the all-star team this summer. And very proud of each and every one of them. And I know that some of them, I think maybe all of them, taking off tonight. Brian, are you going down?
I'm not going down, no.
We were passed over for all-stars this year.
I thought about it, but I got too much else going on.
Well, I can't make it. I got a lunch.
I got stepdad's birthday this weekend.
Yeah,
this
you
week.
can't go
I was
down.
like,
Well,
yeah.
I appreciate you sending the regrets that you couldn't make it. So Calden, while he warms up, we'll give you the outfield. Ryan Dooley in left, Trey Morgan in center, Henry Garcia in right. Pretty much a steady set there. Chris Martinez at third, Mason Dunaway at short, Justin Stark at second, Hunter Cole at first. Stark can play catcher, first, second, the outfield. You know, he was down there frying burgers before the game. He can do it all. He's at second base tonight. And, of course, the catcher from Lenore Ryan, Cole Stanford. Behind the plate, a very solid backstop. The Pilots have been just blessed with terrific catching this summer. So that's your defensive lineup. First 3 for the Peppers tonight. Estrada, Miller, and Dolberry, the all-star, to face Calden. Martinez and Calden have a moment out there. Calden apparently has gotten his spikes as white as Martinez keeps his. You'll be able to see them even if the lights go out here. Estrada hitting .304. He homered here the last time in the top of the first. He takes a strike, and we're underway at 7:38. That one catches the outside corner. Al Creedle behind the plate. Over at first base, James Love. John Thomas down at third. Thomas certainly a familiar figure here. Terrific umpire. I think everybody gets along with him. The 0-2, Estrada takes one high. Stanford says that's exactly where I wanted it, and he didn't go for it, so we'll try again. 1-2. To Frostburg State's right fielder tonight. That is green bat. That one's fouled off the glove. Stays 1-2. Not much of a breeze. I think the Flags are just exhausted. In that rainstorm, I'm amazed they're still on their lines out there because there was some mean lightning, breeze, rain. That one fouled under his own feet. Good crowd has come in here for this ball game. It's the third night in a row here at home that we've had rain earlier in the day. Tonight's rain was by far the worst. But the fans are finding their way to the park a little late. The 1-2 chopped right over the head of Cole Stanford. Stanford and Barham White physically are almost identical, aren't they?
Yeah.
Neither one, the Carlton Fisk kind of bulky and real tall catcher. Both of them very good defensively. The 1-2. Swung on a miss, and that's Calden at his best. Good pitching from the All-Star and retiring a very strong hitter. Here's Cameron Miller in the Ike spot in the lineup, hitting .221 on the year. 4 doubles, a homer, and 5 RBIs. Well, Miller in left field tonight. Calden Alden checks, tells Martinez step in a little bit. Miller hitting 200 in 5 games against the Pilots this season. Swing and a miss. I have a feeling Brett Mays and Mike Calden had a long talk after the other night and have worked ever since. Mays does a nice job with Pilot pitching. The 0-1 catches the outside corner. Brian, that's going to be the spot for both pitchers. Outside, about knee high. So the 0-2 from Calden. Swing and miss. 2 strikeouts for Calden here in the first. Here comes the All-Star Michael Dolberry. Dolberry hitting .387 against the Pilots in 10 games. 12 hits, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 15 RBIs.
Yeah.
So he's been a real challenge for Peninsula. An acknowledged All-Star. Sure, he's got a lot of votes. He plays his college ball at Longwood, and he's from Prince George, same area that Justin Stark is. That one's too high. 1-0. Everybody straight away against Dolberry. Now Garcia and Wright shades a little bit to the gap. And Trey Morgan in center maybe 2 steps towards the left. Chopper off the glove. Picked up by the second baseman Stark. And they make the play. That's now there's the second baseman that's played there twice this year making the start. So 1-4-3 for the third out. Good outing for Calden. We go to the bottom of the first. No score from Hampton. Well, we go to the bottom of the first. Nothing out of the Peppers at the top half of the inning. Now Marcus Goodpaster on the mound for the Chili Peppers. Goodpaster making his 5th start. Thrown 19 innings, given up 21 hits, 13 earned runs, 8 walks, 12 strikeouts. A 2-1 win-loss record for Goodpaster. He's got to face this strong Pilot lineup. It seems to get stronger every game, and here it goes. Here's Hunter Cole from Old Dominion, he hadn't even gotten there yet. To Old Dominion this fall. Coming from Randy Mack, isn't he? Randolph-Macon?
Yeah, Randolph-Macon.
Brett Mays' school during the season. 288 with 5 doubles, and he takes a strike. He, too, is finding that's a high one on that outside corner. 17 RBIs for Hunter. And that line over the head of the shortstop, base hit. To cut it off his knees in center field, he's watching his footing. Did you see that? The ball slowed down on the roll. So a leadoff single. Cole's like imprinting his name on my scorebook as we go. Here's Henry Garcia. Been a little inconsistent as of late, but hitting .272. He's an all-star, and deservedly so. He really at times in certain games carried the Pilots. Certainly his energy carries him every night. 3 doubles, 5 RBIs. Let's see what he does to try to move Cole around. There it goes Cole. No, he held and it fouled off over towards the pond that used to be the children's play area. I'm not saying it's deep, but the hippopotamus, you can't even see the ears over there. Yeah, that's we had a lot of rain. Throw over to first base. Sliding back is Cole. Being held on there by Miles Webb. Webb from Randolph-Macon, so two teammates up until Hunter's appearance in Norfolk at Old Dominion this fall. The 0-1. Ground ball shortstop. Fielded out there by Christie for one. Nice turn by Dalton Hurst. Scored 6-4-3 with the double play. That was very close at first. So with two down now, here's Mason Dunaway. This is the guy the Peppers are really challenged by. He has torn them up this year, and he's torn up the rest of the league. 4-11 with 5 doubles and a homer, 20 RBIs, hitting .529 in 9 games against the Peppers. Mason takes one low and away, ball 1. See, Al Creedle's going to change baseballs often out there as they skip in what is probably still moist, artificial dirt. Good news is Martinez's shoes should stay white all night.
Yeah, they should.
With the artificial dirt. Here's the pitch. Popped it foul down the right field line. Over toward the clubhouse and out of play. 1-1 on Mason. Mason from Hickory High School over in Chesapeake. Plays up at Harrisonburg, Virginia at James Madison University. Beautiful diamond up there. If you like college baseball and you're in the Valley, that's the place to go. Line in the glove of Wiesner at third base. So another well-struck ball by Mason, but right in the glove of Wiesner. 3 up, 3 down for the Pilots here in the first. We go to the second. No score in Hampton. All right. We got a new pitcher here for the Pilots. We go to the second inning. Brian, who's this? This is Robert Cook, isn't it? Was that a 1-1 on the back?
21.
21. Not C.J. Patterson, is it? No. Well, we're going to figure it out here. We got a new pitcher wearing a new number. Now, we wear these jerseys sometimes, and it gets a little challenging to figure out who's who. So a left-hander's come on for Calden. So we're having a challenge up here. Well, your choices, it's not Janeo, it's not Varnier.
Nope.
We know the batter coming in here is Avery Neves. We got him. Neves hitting .233. That one ball high. That one ball low. 2-0 on Neves. Neves with 3 doubles, 4 RBIs. Plays his college ball at the city of Seven Hills. We all know that. No, not Rome, Lynchburg. That one's inside. 3 pitches, 3 balls. Yeah, we are out of options here. My roster doesn't give me 21 in the orange. That's the thing. There's a strike. We don't wear the orange, what, about 3 times a year?
Yeah, it's not often.
Yeah. And he walked him on 5 pitches. Leadoff man on here in the second. Next up, Cole Garrett, the all-star catcher. He's from VMI, hitting .299 with a couple doubles, couple homers, 10 RBIs.
Robert Cook from ODU.
I said his name first. He's listed as 11. This is Robert Cook from Old Dominion. He's from Virginia Beach. He delivers a strike to Cole Garrett. We'll give you some information on Cook. 6'1", 190-pounder, left-hander. Playing at Old Dominion. There's a pitch in low. Oh. As you may have, if you watch our broadcast, you may remember that Al Creedle he doesn't get a Christmas present from Superfan Wayne. Let's just say that.
No.
So it can be a little challenging. We'll see how this goes. This is Cook's first appearance, by the way, which is why we don't know him by sight. There's a strike in, 1-2. Over at first base is Neves. He's 1 for 3 in stolen bases, so he's not Usain Bolt on the bases. That was close, 2-2. The zone's a little challenging to find right now. Pop to left field. Dooley barely moves 4 or 5 steps to the right and makes the catch. Nice pitch up, Brian, to get that fly ball. So 1-on-1 out here. Yeah, Cook from Lansdowne High School over in Virginia Beach. Previously played at Virginia Wesleyan. So he played there in Virginia Wesleyan in 2022. Son of Alan Terry Cook. Favorite athlete, a guy named Cam Newton. Figg's brother. That was fouled off by Alex Christie. Christie from Hanover College. We determined in Indiana, right? Hanover, Indiana. Hitting 148 on the year. 2 doubles, a homer, and 6 RBIs for Christie. With Neves still over at first base, being held by Hunter Cole. In for a strike. 0-2 now. So Cook had a couple of balls there against Neves, but has come back strong. There goes the runner. It's fouled off. That always scares me, thinking that Stanford got hit with a broken bat the other night on a foul ball, on a steal play, as I remember. So Cook, looking over Neves again. I don't know how much they study their stealing tendencies. He may be able to catch him leaning. No, doesn't go, and that one's in. Ball high. 1-2. Robert's going to get his master's degree at Old Dominion, or got his master's degree. I guess he's got to be going to get it. Why not? These guys that have crossed that pandemic year, they lose a whole season in 2020. So they get it back at the end of their career, and they get that graduate degree. That one inside. Stanford keeps it close, 3-2. That's been a real benefit to these young men. We saw Zach Morris play for about a month with the Paz, and he's down at Duke doing that. And he'll get to play a year in the ACC. So a 3-2 pitch here. Swing and a miss. Cook with his first strikeout of the season. Second out of the inning. And with 2 outs, here's Eli Wiesner who snagged that line drive hit by Dunaway to end the bottom of the first. Wiesner from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. 214 on the season with a couple doubles, a homer, and 6 RBIs. In for a strike.
There it is.
I tell you, with the defense the Pirates have, you want to pound the zone and let them hit it. I mean, make them hit it if they're going to get on. And he certainly is doing it here. After that leadoff walk, there's ball high. Couldn't get him to chase. That one, oh, I thought he might appeal that. 2-1. Wiesner from Deep Run High School in Glen Allen, Virginia. Transfer from Lewisburg. That one's low. 3-1. Majoring in finance with a minor in data analytics. That's the way to go these days.
Oh, yeah.
The 3-1 pitch from Cook. Upstairs, he's walked 2 in the inning. So 2 on, 2 out here in the second. And here's Miles Webb from Randolph-Macon. At first base tonight, hitting 129 with an RBI. That one's in for a strike. I can see why Superfan Wayne doesn't send him a card already. Well, let's see if it settles down. Sometimes the umpire, with the different pitchers he's seen now, this is the 3rd one he's seen.
I didn't see Wayne here tonight either.
No, I didn't either. Strike 2. So an 0-2 here with 2 on, 2 out in the second. Here's the pitch. Pop foul, out of play. 91-mile-an-hour pitch. That looks good. He's come up 2 miles an hour just in the inning.
Yeah, and if you can get that effectively up above the zone, they'll swing right through it.
So Neves at second, Wiesner at first. And an 0-2 pitch again. Ground ball to Dunaway. Flips it to short, way to Stark, and that retires the side. And Stark already involved in the plays there at second base.
Yep.
We go to the bottom of the second. Tie ball game. Back in just a minute. All right, we go to the bottom of the second. We got a couple of guests here we'll introduce in a minute. Good pastor back on the mound, delivers a curveball into Justin Stark for a strike. We're joining the booth tonight. Well, we'll introduce John Stark, who we introduced John Stout, who we had in there as we watch a drive to the left field, but in the mud out there reaching up and making a catch is Miller. We had John here earlier talking about the Williamsburg Softball League, so he's out and we're out of microphones. So he brought two friends with him tonight, two guys that are well known to sports figures here and sports lovers in the Peninsula. We got Tommy Evac, who was a star at Hampton Roads Academy and went on and played at University of Virginia, and a graduate of HRA the same year that our other guest here, Kevin Gould. You graduated 83 as well, didn't you?
Correct.
And you went to UVA and played the other sport.
Correct.
At pitch in to Dooley at the plate. Welcome to the booth, guys. Glad to have you with us.
Thanks for having us, Frank.
We're watching a tight ball game and an important ball game for the Pilots as they are leading the second half and need to win. Now, Tommy, you've done your share of pitching. You played baseball your whole life, and now are you the head coach at HRA?
I am, Frank. I've been head coach since 1998.
Very good. That one low. And how are athletics? I know you're the assistant athletic director up there.
I do some assistant AD work. I teach a couple classes in the high school in the PE department, and I've coached baseball for, like I said, since '98.
Line up the middle. That looks like it may drop. No, it's a diving catch by Avery Neves. The veteran out there makes a nice play. 2 up, 2 down here for the Pilots in the second. Now, did anybody ever hit the ball that hard against you, Tommy, or is it true, like you tell a lot of people these days, you had a no-hitter every game?
Yeah, well, I had a no-hitter every game early. For a while. I'll tell you, Frank, I threw a pitch to, I can't remember his name, but he was the first baseman for Virginia Tech. And you remember Hugh Hall?
Yeah.
Virginia. I'm not lying. I think the ball did land on top of the ocean.
Where it still said Ralph's house on top of it?
On top, yeah. I think it hit the top of U-Haul.
Chris Martinez at the plate. Takes a strike. 2 strikes now. It's good passer. Having a good inning. And we'll stay on during the break, Brian. Dreep to left and gone. Oh. Martinez, once again, here at home. That wasn't even lifted, Brian. That was driven. Ooh. That's that. He thought Evac was on the mound on that one. Martinez puts the Pilots on the board. Yeah, that may hit you all.
That got out.
106 off the bat, almost 400 feet. Martinez puts the Pilots up. Now, Kevin, you went up to UVA same year, and you decided to play on the gridiron.
That's correct, Frank. Yes, I played football there from.
Well, not
83.
just played. You were a captain of the team in '86.
Yes, yeah. I was. They didn't have too many folks to choose from, so I ended up somehow being selected.
Now, your quarterback that year was Majkowski, right?
Don Majkowski. We had a stable of quarterbacks actually, but Don was he was the starter. He had definitely earned the position, but there were 2 other quarterbacks, Scott Seacuse. And there was who initially started was Kevin Ferguson. So I don't know how Coach Welch was able to get 3 guys of that caliber in the same class.
Well,
so,
you played for a great coach there.
Yes,
George Welch. That's Trey Morgan from Hampton High School. At the bat, he grounded the pitcher. That does it, and we're going to stay with you here as we go through. Now, I know Tommy came back. You came back, Tommy, when to the Peninsula? You went off to Virginia. What'd you do after Virginia?
I came back immediately.
Okay.
So I've been back home since '87.
Did you go right to Hampton Roads Academy?
I did not. No, I chased the paycheck, in the business world for about 10 years. I came home immediately after school because my dad was elderly at the time, and he was kind of in need of some of his children to help him out a little bit. So I came home. I had 1 job offer in Allentown, Pennsylvania. It just didn't quite entice me. So I came home and did several different things and finally got back into coaching. My degree was in education anyway, but I made that attempt to avoid teaching and coaching, to seek the almighty dollar, and it just didn't work out, Frank. So
well, Hampton Roads Academy, under your guidance up there, has had good sports teams in the private school area around here, very competitive.
We are, and we have. Thank you. We do the best we can. We're starting to get some quality. We always have gotten, but we're starting to get more and more high quality student athletes, and student always comes first.
Absolutely,
there.
HRA, yeah.
So we're looking up. It's looking bright.
Well, my law partner was Jim Reed, who is maybe still the only professional football player, an NFL player, to ever come out of HRA, isn't he?
No doubt. No doubt. And he'll tell you the story that Tom O'Brien, who recruited him, he was recruiting Kirby and Slade down the street at Tab, and he wandered into HRA and met Jim at 6'7", about 280 at the time. And he told him, Jim will tell you this, he said, Jim, between you and me, just keep this quiet. Don't tell anybody you're going to be going to UVA, that you're a Division I football player.
He had quite a career at Virginia, too.
Quite a career.
Yeah.
Good guy, too.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to start the top of the third here. It's 1-0 Peninsula, courtesy of the home run by Chris Martinez. Kevin, you come out of Hampton High School. You played for one of the greatest high school coaches ever, Mike Smith.
Yeah, I don't think you misspoke there. Mike Smith knew his job well, and for a number of years, even in the latter part of his career, he was able to string together 8-9 wins, and I think you see that other coaches are struggling to match that. So even in his latter days, he was still quite remarkable. Somehow able to get teams up, prepare them, and get W's. Yeah, 8 to 9 every year at least.
Leadoff single for Dalton Hurst for the Chili Peppers. Now Danny Estrada, who struck out against Called in the starter tonight. He's got one ball facing Robert Cook again, and Cook delivers high. Now, Kevin, what did you after you graduated from Virginia? You did take some time away because did you pursue a master's degree somewhere?
Well, actually, I considered coaching. I stayed back at UVA for one semester. I did some grad work there, but I was also again looking at coaching. And it didn't work out. It was a good experience, but it didn't work out. So I came home and got in the workforce, just like like most folks. I did continue to coach a little bit at I started working at Newport News Shipbuilding, and I did eventually coach for the apprentice school. So that was a very good experience, and that was.
They play their baseball games here, and they're a big part of the Peninsula. My father went to the apprentice school for a semester out of Hampton High.
How about that?
And so that's a real nice sports program down there. You're now what, an engineer at NASA?
That's correct. That's
Very
correct.
good.
That's correct. Yeah, we're been at NASA since 2008 now, and I've been doing commercial space programs as well. Really been a good time.
For those of you that are from not from our area, Hampton has played a major role in the space program in this country. There were 7 original astronauts trading here. As we watched Dalton Hurst hustle down to third base. He got on second on an error. And they're going to put him back. We'll see what that's all about in a minute. So Hurst goes back. Thank goodness they hadn't drawn him in. But it's really a neat place to play. Some of the highest technology going out there, and we're very, very glad to have both those entities you mentioned, the shipyard and NASA here on the peninsula. They've always been a big part of baseball on the peninsula, and supporters. The steel that holds this roof up is from the shipyard, 1948, and of course the NASA program has brought so many people here over the years that retire here and some to the military. So you're still down at the shipyard. I mean, you're at NASA.
Yes, I'm at NASA.
Yeah, because you've grown a gray beard like I have. So.
Well,
yours looks a little better than mine.
I'm proud of it. Initially I started the Just for Men, trying to hide the grades, but I decided, no, man, it's okay.
Got to give it up, Kevin. You just give it up. Third ball to Estrada. Well, now, Kevin, we talked before you came on the air. Your brother, Tim, pitched against me in Little League. That's overstating it. Struck me out in Little League often, and was a great athlete both in baseball and football. So you had to follow in some big shoes there. We watched Estrada walk. 2-1 now, nobody out.
Yeah, Timothy was definitely, I would say, a gifted baseball player in his time. Unfortunately, he didn't choose that. He chose football, but Tim played catcher for the most part from a young lad right on up through to, I guess, through junior high. I don't believe Tim. He may have played 1 year at Hampton High, and then he kind of stuck with football after that.
Well, he was a great catcher. He played for the Owls in Hampton with Little League.
So begs the question, Frank, how
Yeah.
did the catcher strike you out?
Oh, because he pitched. Trust me, he could pitch. He scared us to death.
Yeah, Tim could probably throw the ball 95 miles an hour at the age of 12, but you never knew where
Right.
it was going.
Gotcha.
And I was
We all know guys like that.
I was left-handed, and I got plunked a lot in Little League.
Yeah.
You were left-handed?
I'm left-handed in baseball. Yeah,
Yeah.
very
You got any
strange.
video of you hitting the ball?
No, there's none that exist. It didn't happen often, and you would have to have a lot of old movie tape to catch one.
Stout back here probably has some.
Yeah. 8mm. There you go. So, guys, what do you think of War Memorial Stadium here and the Pilot organization? Have you had a chance to come out in the last few years and seen the new construction? And because, Kevin, you grew up pretty close here, didn't you?
That's right. As a youngster, I mean, this was a place that I had lots of friends who lived in this area. I used to walk out here and watch the guys, I guess the bat boys and folks would chase balls. And I guess at that time you could bring a ball back and maybe get 25 cents.
Yeah.
Snow cone.
Or
Yeah,
something.
that's right.
Oh yeah, you could barter with that ball. It was really. But yeah, it's they've done an excellent job. I've just been really impressed with the quality of this ballpark. Again, it's come quite a ways, but it's a nice, comfortable place now to come and enjoy a game, and you can bring a family out, and it really won't hurt you bad at all.
No,
so.
you can take some change home. Cameron Miller just struck out looking with two on, one down now. Here's the All-Star Michael Dolberry from Prince George County, playing his college ball at Longwood, and he's been a Pilot killer this summer, but looks like Cook's going after him here. Throw back.
Oh.
And that's saved by Stark, who pretends that it got past him but couldn't get it done. That's a VMI kid at second base, Tommy and Kevin. You'll see with several VMI players. The catcher for the Chili Peppers is VMI, and then Justin Stark and Trey Morgan for the Pilots have had nice careers up there in Lexington. Dolberry lines one out to right field. Garcia makes the catch. Hurst had done his usual go down the line, so he had to return 2 down now. Now, Kevin, I'm an Algonquin Road guy.
Algonquin.
Armstrong, Thorpe,
Wow.
and Hampton.
Wow.
I think Tim went to Thorpe as well, didn't he?
Tim went to Thorpe.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We moved into what I call the Wythe area, I think in 71.
Okay.
So, it was a really nice area, but we had come from the Back River Road area. I was telling these guys earlier, before we moved to the Wythe area, we lived near Patrick's Hardware.
Oh, okay.
And so.
Yeah, historic Patrick's Hardware now.
Yes.
It's about 115th year down there.
Played competitive pickup sports in that neighborhood. And then we.
Those were the days when we all played pickup sports. All three of us can remember. Sometimes the competition on the pickup field was better than what you saw in school.
That's why I did not. Yeah, competitive.
So, Frank, Kevin and I played Pee Wee football together at Armstrong.
The Keatans?
We were Armstrong Vikings and Keatans.
And the Viking and the Keatans, yeah.
Yes,
Like
indeed.
8, 9, 10, 11, somewhere 9, 10, 11, 12, something like that.
9, 10, yeah.
I think we may
Absolutely.
have been undefeated for a couple of those years.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. 8, 9. I mean, 9. I think 9 years old was the first year. The midgets, I guess it
Played
was.
for Burt, I think. Sexton, right?
Yes.
Four-pitch walk to Neves, loads the bases. And we'll see now Cole Garrett, his all-star catcher from VMI. When you go to Chili Peppers, their home stadiums in Colonial Heights, and the VMI families get together. They have several VMI players. The Pilots have several. This is Brett Mays from Warwick, our pitching coach, Tommy. This is the guy that got away from you. He was about this tall in Little League. He's the same age as my son Jordan.
Got it.
And I always tell Brett, he plunked my child in the head in Little League All-Stars one time, gave Jordan a free base.
So Brett's like 6'7"?
Yes.
We played, so HRA played Woodside. He played at Woodside for Kevin Hare, I believe.
Yeah.
So we played them when he was junior or senior, and we had a kid named Garrison Surrett who was also 6'7".
Absolutely.
And it was two tall, lanky guys throwing against you. It was a great ball game.
Yeah, Garrison was my intern one year when in college. Yeah.
They look alike. I'm looking at Brett
Yeah,
right
it's a
now.
very similar build, isn't it?
Yeah.
Both of them just sprouted up. And, of course, I always say Brett was about 3 inches shorter when he was 9. He stood out. So Brett comes out, settle down, Cook. He is a good guy.
Really
We're
good
very
man.
fortunate to have him here working with our pitchers. Base is full. Garrett at the plate. Cole popped to left his first time up, hitting .299 or just under that now. 2 homers, 10 RBIs, 3 ducks on the pond, and another pitch high. Sometimes that artificial turf. Did you ever pitch on artificial turf, Tommy?
I did not. I think I only played maybe one game on artificial turf. That was at the University of Miami in '85.
See, and sometimes the foot doesn't come down the mound as easy as it does in dirt. You can dig your hole a little deeper. You know how you pitchers dig holes out there. And
I can't imagine it, to be honest with you.
Right.
I don't know how they keep their
couldn't
footing.
either.
Yep. So 2-0 now. Swing and a miss. Way to come back and get him. So the Pilots in a nervous situation here. 2-1 count, 2 down. We're in the top of the third. They lead it 1-0 against their rivals. Cook delivers. Bloop out to right field. Garcia got a beat on it, makes the catch. That does it. Good luck brought to us by our guest tonight, Tommy Evac and Kevin Gould. Thank you for being up here tonight.
Well, thanks, Frank. See you next Easter, by the way.
Yeah, well, we hope to see you before then.
Real pleasure.
All right,
Thanks for
we'll
having
go to
us,
some
Frank.
commercials.
I really do
We'll be
appreciate
back.
it.
Great to see you, Kevin. We go back here to the bottom of the third. And that one, Brian's going to tell me.
Ethan Ott single up the middle. First pitch.
We have one on Ott, who's starting to swing the bat.
Yep.
With the single up the middle. I appreciate the fans' patience. We've been trying to get Tommy and Kevin up here, both UVA grads. Kevin was quite the defensive back at UVA. He soft sells it. Drilled down the left field, just foul by Cole Stanford. And all of a sudden, Pilot Bats meeting the ball against Goodpaster. They may have talked about what happened last inning because Goodpaster was pretty good, except for Martinez's home run. Yeah, Wube and I call a lot of football. We would have called both their games. Tommy went on to HRA, which is a private school here up in Newport News. Always had great sports. And then Kevin, tremendous player. Driven out to left field. That's going to get down and scoot. No, it's going to sit. That holds the runner at second base. But 2 singles here to start the bottom of the third. Yeah, the goal, Timmy goal was amazing. Scared us, little kids. And he was only a year older, but he was bigger. Kevin was captain, one of the captains at UVA, and played for George Wells. So he played for Mike Smith, who's the 3rd winningest high school football coach in the country, and then played for the great George Wells at Virginia. Leadoff man Hunter Cole, he got the ball game started with a single, and he's got 2 on in front of him, nobody out here. He squares the bunt, pops it up in the air, and that's one of the first mistakes he's made in a long time is popping it up. Nice play by the catcher, Garrett. And why not? Because they teach small ball in Lexington, and I'm sure he has to be the one to try to catch them if they pop him up there. Here's Henry Garcia, who's played right field tonight perfectly. Because some of those weren't hit very hard, and it even fooled us. 1-0 ball game thanks to White Shoes Chris Martinez. That was a shot.
Yeah, it was.
And that wasn't his floater. He's floated 2 out of here before. Fouled off. Garcia's feeling it too. He hit in the double play in the first inning. That 5 RBIs, a chance for a 6th if he hits it deep enough in the outfield for a base hit. Ott will be able to get home. You know, Brian, our rough start this season has really obscured the level of talent that the Pilots and Hank Morgan and his team have put together here. I mean, Ott at second base, Tidewater Baseball Player of the Year in this area is quite an honor. That one curved away. Good eye from Garcia, 2-1. Garcia second on the team with 23 walks, so he's shown a good eye. Pilots 4 hits early too, Brian.
Yeah, they are swinging the bat.
Pop foul. He's going to get out of play over towards the children play area, which we now call Lake Erie. 2-2. Although the rain's draining a little bit. I'm starting to see the smaller children's heads now. So a 2-2 count with 1 out here. Pilots just trying to avoid the double play. Let's see if they can get out over to third base. Good passer taking his time. Fouls that sharply off. Good passer's not your overpowering pitcher.
No, he's not.
But he mixes his speeds well.
Yeah.
We'll have to look back see which pitch he hit from Martinez. Good passer's looking at Ott. Delivers in. What an eye from Garcia.
I think it was a fastball to Martinez, 86.
Yeah, he got all of that one. Yeah, Wube, that one's so close. Wube tried to swing. I mean, that was that. I think all 3 of us flinched. 3-2. Line out center field, base hit. They're going to send Ott. Here comes Ott, and the throw comes into third. Terrific base hit by Garcia. RBI number 6, and the Pilots lead it 2-0.
Even that was 101 off the bat.
Yeah, all of a sudden, this inning, that's the 3rd hit of the inning. All sharply hit singles. Here's Dunaway, who lined out in the first. Came in hitting .411. Higher against these Peppers. Base hit here may score another one. Got Stanford at second base. Garcia at first. Upstairs. Now, I was saying about the local talent. Ott and Dunaway, both Tidewater Players of the Year. Darnell Parker on the first team this year. He's on the bench tonight. And then Martinez from Dominican Republic. Henry Garcia from New York. There go the runners. Throw down a third base. And safe at third base. Hard to stop on that stuff. Stanford actually stopped when he ran into the third baseman, Wiesner. They're going to give Wiesner a minute to shake it off. Out comes the coaching staff down there, Jim Bierlein, Andre Moore, and Kyle Mark for the Peppers. And that's discussion's over. Pitch of the ball. Excuse me, a strike. 1-1 on Dunaway with 2 ducks on the pond here for the Hickory High grad. That one's upstairs, 2-1. Kevin Gould and Tommy Evac brought us a little luck here. Got these bats going this inning. Dunaway slashed to right field. Base hit, 1 in. Here comes the second one. The throw is coming home and sliding across and in safely. A 2-run single for who else? Mason Dunaway. Nobody say a word to him. Not a word. Just leave him be. Slide food plates under his door. Won't talk. Here comes Stark, another guy hitting the ball really well against the Chili Peppers. He popped to left his first time up.
And we're back out to a big early lead once again, and that's been the key.
It has been. Yeah, those big leads earlier, you can get them. They're good.
Yes.
Out comes the catcher, Garrett, to talk to Goodpaster. There's somebody throwing out there, but it looks like they're standing up throwing, so they're not ready yet. It's a little SpongeBob dictation here. So Garrett's done. He's burned what he can burn. So Justin Stark. Then Ryan Dooley crushed. You know, Brian, this lineup is starting to look top to bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Best in the league. There goes the runner at second base. Throw is high. In safe is a runner. Dunaway with his 11th steal in 14 trips. And he becomes an RBI possibility. Oh, 1. Laid off of it, 1-1. I think he's hitting the ball better this year than he did last. And he is, Stark is just, I mean, again, bring your children out and see how to stand up straight. Great posture. Great physical. It looks like, he, you know, the VMI guys certainly get plenty of time to work out.
Yeah, that did look close to a balk right there.
1-1 is low. 2-1. Outfielder straight away against Stark. His home runs have been to left field. They've been towering shots, 2 of them in Shepherd Stadium this year. Popped up, towering to right field. Estrada comes in. It's going to be the second baseman, Hurst. He gives way to Estrada. He drops it. Late communication. Hurst was out, and then Estrada, and they couldn't decide who was going to go for it. And by the time Hurst pulled away, Estrada had to dive. E on the right fielder for me, but they give him a hit. Nah. It's got to be a one-on-one of them. They're standing right underneath it, but I'll take it. They give Stark a hit. I'm going to mark it in my book, but I'll leave the little E down there. 2-1 now, runners at the corner, 1 out here in the third, 3 runs in already. And here comes Ryan Dooley with 15 RBIs on the summer. hitting near 300 at 289. And then home run hitter on deck.
Yep.
Throwback on Stark. Stark 10 for 13 in stolen bases, so he's certainly giving the pitcher Goodpaster a target over there. Throw back over, Stark back. He basically falls down. That tall posture stretches out. Square to bunt. Bunt right to the pitcher. It's a toss home safe. What a play. RBI for Dooley. That gives him his 16th. In safely is Dunaway. Dunaway doesn't like to spend a lot of time on bases. He's got things to do. Going to second is Stark. So first and second, one out. 4 runs in the inning. And here's Chris Martinez. Holy mackerel. Goodpaster's going to have to look in and say, this guy just hit one next week off me. Chris really starting to swing the bat. Takes one high. Brian, if you're a Goodpaster, you can't give him anything.
No, yeah, I wouldn't give him anything to hit. I'd be trying to live low and outside.
And that he hasn't tried against anybody tonight, certainly in this inning. Drilled down the third baseline, very nearly got Gage Riddick, the third base coach.
Yeah, he might back up a couple steps.
Yeah, he may want to pay more attention. That one nearly got him. He's out in front of the box a little bit. You know, the boxes are symbolic.
He's probably only 80 feet from home plate.
Yeah, that's a little close. He does wear the helmet or that Dairy Queen ice cream dish turned upside down, what most of them wear. The 1-1. Martinez lets that go. He said it was out. It was not. 1-2. You see Chris with a hand.
Yeah.
Indicating what he thought of the pitch. Chris must not say a lot because he gets away with some gestures.
Right.
So 1-2 now on Martinez.
I imagine they'll go right back to that.
That time he thought for sure that Stark was going to sneak down to third base. Stepped off. Goodpaster, who's a tall drink of water as well. That one fouled back towards Aiden, the music guy. Nothing Peninsula here. And Calden gets his 1 inning in.
Yep.
Cook has seen 2.
Somebody's throwing. 2 guys throwing.
All-Star break starts tomorrow. Upstairs. 2-2. So no games tomorrow or on Wednesday. Back in action Thursday, but the Pile's not back in action till they're at Morehead City on the 21st, Friday night, and back home against Morehead Saturday. Brian always looks forward to the bus ride down.
Yeah, that's a
takes a book.
Short little bus ride.
2-2, pop to center field. Neves coming on, and they can't catch it, and the runners are all over the place. Stark's going to sneak home, and he's in safely. Stark.
Good base
Stark
running.
did. He got a lot more than 180 feet in that run.
Yeah, he did.
He went around third and thought it was caught and was scrambling to go back around third and then turned around and came home. Gage Riddick, we got to talk to Gage about that. I think he's still rattled by the foul ball.
He might be.
So a long single for Martinez, driving a run in, his 17th, or excuse me, 18th for Chris. So 5 runs in off Goodpaster, who's been very good for 2 innings. The third is blown up on him. 8 hits now for the Pilots. And the 8th pilot to hit in the inning is Trey Morgan, who granted a Goodpaster last inning. And he takes the pitch away, ball 1. He, too, would duck on the pond out there. That's Ryan Dooley at second base. Martinez over at first. Trey Morgan takes another one high, ball 2. I would think their pitcher's ready now.
Yeah.
Whether he's ready or not, I would think they're going to have to go to him. You never. Baseball is such a strange game. He's pitching a good game, gives up the home run in the second, and then everything goes away here. Popped back. Here comes Garrett. He's looking up. It looks like it's going to hit our roof. Hits the side porch here. 2-1 on Morgan. Hampton High grad. VMI student athlete. And a 5-year pilot. And just a rare combination of playing after high school and playing during the pandemic. Maybe the longest tenure of any Coastal Plain player in history. The 2-1. That one's misses.
I think technically he could still play next summer.
If he goes to graduate school the following year, he could. Tell you one thing, he's going to be a great teacher when he gets ready to settle down and coach. And I would think that's in his future. They walk him. So the base is full, 1 out. And it's Ethan Ott again, who saw the first pitch and hit it for a single to get this started. You know, the thing about Ott is he's a home run threat. So out comes Beerline. He's got to go to the pen now. So if you're scoring at home, you got to do like I do and move over on your book. Pilots bat around with 1 out and bases full. Tri-Cities is off, just like the Pilots, tomorrow and Wednesday. They are not playing till Friday as well. They are at home against Martinsville. And Martinsville took a game from them this weekend. Then they're on the road against Martinsville on the 22nd. Peninsula, meanwhile, road at Morehead City, home against Morehead City on Saturday, and then a Sunday game at Wilson. Brian Wallaby bringing you that name. Now they're going to leave Good Pasture. That's second visit, wasn't it?
First by.
And Ott has a chance to hit his first Grand Slam this summer. Takes that one high, ball 1. This kid can hit a ball, and he's starting to find the groove. 1 for 1 tonight with a run scored. That one missed. Wind is pretty much not present tonight. Ground ball, foul, 2-1 on Ethan Ott. Ott, also from Chesapeake, Virginia. Same hometown as Dunaway. Chopper to the pitcher. Got to go home for 1. Goes to first base, double play. So Good Pasture stays on and gets out of a late jam, but he does give up 5 runs in the inning. Pilots lead it 6-0. We go to the 4th. Back in just a minute. Well, we go to the fourth. 6-0 Peninsula. Is our caretaker, Henry Morgan, out introducing the fan that has traveled the farthest to get here. And the young man out there is the one that's traveled the farthest. And traveling from the bullpen into the mound is Nick Willard for the Pilots. Willard making his 6th appearance, all in relief. He's from York High School over in Yorktown, right here on the Peninsula. He's thrown 9 innings, given up only 5 hits, 3 runs all earned, 8 walks, 15 strikeouts, a 0-0 win-loss record, 2 saves on the year, and a 3.00 ERA. Brian, you played with Nick Willard. We've seen of his appearances 4 superb.
Yep.
1, 4 walks in an inning against these same Chili Peppers. Mm-hmm. But it was the 9th inning, and we were up 11-0. Right. Yeah. So, or 11-4. Yeah. So, but this kid was pitcher of the night one night where he threw 9 pitches, got 3 outs. Mm-hmm. And I voted for him in the All-Star game. He's got a great arm. He took a little time off to go do some school-related stuff, came back, had that rough outing, but he was superb the other night.
But he settled back in.
So Nick Willard on the mound facing Alex Christie, Eli Wiesner, and Miles Webb here for the Peppers in the top of the 4th. That one's in, ball 1. Christie struck out in the 2nd. Called strike. I imagine Beerline is not very happy either with the home plate umpire. The plays on the calls on the bases have been perfect. I mean, the umpires are right on top of them. There's a swing and a miss. Those plays at home were close, but not that close.
Right, yeah.
Hands were going right across the plate. Just some smart base running to help that make that 5-run inning. Chopped it behind himself. 1-2 it remains on Alex Christie from Hanover College. Hanover, Indiana. Yep, we have a friend we've met this summer, Matthew Fogo, who plays for the Lions Bridge Soccer Club here during the summer. He's headed to DePaul with a W University, and they'll be playing Hanover College this year. Driven to left field, base hit. Over to get it is Dooley. It's rolling slow on that wet grass tonight. Both teams' outfielders feeling that. So a leadoff single for Christie here. And with him on first, here comes Eli Wiesner. Wiesner walked in the 2nd. He put 2 men on. And then the Pilots were able to squeeze out of that inning. The right-hander from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Home, as I've taught these guys, home of who? Cedric Cornbread Maxwell, yeah. I think they went to the Final Four. UNC Charlotte behind Maxwell, and that got him drafted by the Celtics, and he added that quick man off the bench. I'm sure he started games. Fouled off, 1-1. That's where Jack Dragum went, wasn't it? The great pilot that we've had a couple of years, UNC Charlotte?
Yes. I think you're right, yeah.
Another good player. If I was looking for the double play ball, I would think that the ball gets a little wet skipping across the artificial turf, so it's going to be a combination of hanging on to it. There's a pitch on the outside corner. Willard at 90 on the bottom corner, knee high outside. That's perfect pitch.
Yep, stay there.
The 1-2. That went away. Throw down to first base. Almost got him. Certainly made Christie slide back in. 2-2 now on Wiesner. Swing and a miss. He pulled the string on that one.
Yeah, he did. Dropped the breaking ball in there.
First strikeout, first out of the inning. And with one down, here's Miles Webb playing his college ball at Randolph-Macon, where his assistant coach up there is Brett Mays of the Pilots. Webb ended the 2nd inning with a fielder's choice. He grounded it to shortstop, which Dunaway flipped to 2nd for the out. Curveball in for a strike. Boy, that one, that's the zippy curveball right there. The other one floated a little bit.
Could be a slider, too.
The 0-1 fouled off, but the bat went over towards third base. Jumping out of the way is Dalton Hurst, thinking, I'm not going to lose my head tonight. 0-2 on Webb.
Yeah, lots of pine tar used tonight, I'm sure.
You're going to need it. Everything's moist. That rain, as heavy as it was, sometimes that doesn't bring more humidity. I think tonight it did. And there's a lot of sitting water around here. The local mosquito sent out a press release saying thank you. We've been dry until the last couple of weeks. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Lost handle on that one. 2 down. And here's Dalton Hurst. Hurst singled in the third to start a little bit of a rally, followed by a walk to Estrada, put 2 on with nobody out. Back came Robert Cook with a strikeout, a pop-up, walked another one to load the bases, and got another pop-up. So Cook with 2 innings tonight. Good work for the Pilots. And he's going to be a nice new arm. That pitch is away, ball 1. Hurst came in hitting 181, so he's a little above that with the single in the third. From the University of New Orleans. He flies that out one to left. Dooley's going to come on. His horse can't get it. It's going to. The ball sat, so did he. As he tries to stop. So it's a single to left for Dalton Hurst, putting 2 on with 2 out. Stopping at second is Alex Christie. Here's the leadoff man, Estrada, who's a dangerous hitter. 7 home runs, 20 RBIs on the year for the Chili Peppers. He walked and struck out tonight. Strikeout against the starter, Calden. Walk against Cook. Pitch in is called strike. Now, Estrada is the one that is very demonstrative when he disagrees with that. And he'll say something. He's a big guy, so it doesn't really get him thrown out. But 0-1. Boy, that just missed 1-1. So Willard really working on painting the corners. That was the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Curveball missed. 2-1 on Estrada. Estrada against the Pilots this summer has hit 300 with a double and a homer and 6 RBIs. Lines that one over the head of the first baseman out in the right field. 1 run's going to come in. And that Garcia picked up the ball and dropped it. Throws it in wildly and able to slowed by Cole at first. So it's a long single for Estrada, his 21st RBI. That ball sits like Tiger Woods' pitching wedge shot. Over to third goes Hurst, but he stops and stays there. Although if he'd seen him drop the ball, he might have been able to go around. So here's Cameron Miller, 6-1 ball game now as the leadoff single bites Willard. 3 singles in the inning, by the way, and that one's saved by the catcher. Ball 1 on Miller. Miller struck out looking, struck out swinging tonight. 5 RBIs on the year for him. That one just missed outside 2-0. So on last 2 singles here in the inning, one by Hurst, one by Estrada on when Willard falls behind in the count. Upstairs, 3-0. Dolberry, who's been an utter Pilot killer this summer, on deck. Willard, Nick takes his time. That one's in for a strike. I think you're better off trying to get the ground ball out here and trying to paint too much of the corner. Miller this year with a home run, 5 RBIs. Fouled off, and Willard fights back. Now the count level at 3-2. There's a Star Wars character. Swing and a miss. Willard,
Boom.
3 strikeouts in the inning.
Yep.
Sandwich around 3 hits. That does it for the Peppers here. They get 1, but no more than that. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 6-1 Peninsula. Well, we go to the 4th, and who's out there to pitch is Marcus Goodpasser. He gave up 5 runs in the last inning, 1 in the second, but he is back out for his 4th inning of work, facing Cole Stanford. Then the top of the order, Hunter Cole and Henry Garcia for the Pilots. Stanford last inning singled and scored. Drives out to left field. That's a base hit, and it stops on a dime. That wet field is wetter than we think.
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
it?
I walked around out there pregame. My feet are still wet.
A little spongy.
Yeah.
So Stanford with 2 hits tonight. Here comes Hunter Cole. He's popped up and singled tonight. And he popped up to the catcher trying to bunt back in the 3rd. So Goodpasser looks over at first base. Stanford will try to steal a base, but not often. And that pitch is a ball. And Cole will try to get on, and he does it often. See what we can do here. Throw to first base, back safely by about a hand. It's Cole Stanford. Our catchers just have this urge to go, don't they?
Yeah,
they get
they
on
do.
first, and they want to go to second. Barham White, Cole Stanford. That time he hadn't gotten very far off. So they leave the right-hander. And he gives up the single here. 9th hit given up by Goodpasser. Swing and a miss. Sliding into second base before the shortstop even got there is Stanford. His 3rd stolen base, 2nd tonight. There's another ball on Hunter Cole. Now Cole with a duck on the pond. He's got 17 RBIs on the year. Left side of the infield is creeping in. Now the shortstop moves back. Cole pops it foul with the left side. Now to play, 2-1. One-two here to Hunter Cole. Blooped it out to right center field, and it's going to stick on the green. I'm surprised he didn't send him right away. In comes Cole Stanford. See, he didn't have to spend much time on the bases at all, did he?
Nope.
RBI single, 18th RBI for Cole. By the way, I wrote in as an all-star, too. I would have voted for you and Wube.
We appreciate that.
Utility players. Camera setter, sound man, you know, fit you on the bus. They get you on the bus. Now they go in the bullpen. Beerline out to get his pitcher. Sent him out for a fourth inning work and gave up 2 hits. I'm not sure the Curb Your Enthusiasm music is quite appropriate, but in comes, looks like a right-hander to face Garcia. We'll see if we can get a number a little sooner than we do in the past. It's very difficult. Now, these uniforms aren't bad at all. Martinsville, they have uniforms that they actively tried to hide the number from you.
22.
22. Oh, Marcus Van Alstyne from VMI, who's pitched often against the Pilots. He's a friend of all these guys from Lexington.
All
Nice
the
young
VMI
man.
guys were hanging out before the game, too, just talking.
It's a good group of young men. It really is. Van Alstyne making his 6th appearance against the Pilots. 1-0 record with his ERA of 0.00. So he's not giving up a run to his VMI teammates in Hampton. Giving up only 2 hits, 1 walk in his 4.2 innings pitched. So he's done very well against these Pilots. For you young athletes that think, hey, where can I go to play competitive sports and have a guaranteed career the rest of my life in the service? VMI is your school. That's young men and young women. Because they've got good soccer programs, good athletics for the young ladies, too. Van Alstyne from Mechanicsville, Virginia, right outside of Richmond, 6 foot, 190 pounder. He's a rising 3rd or a 2nd-year student up there. So 7-1 ball game as the Pilots get back the run they gave up at the top half of the inning. I would think that may earn Willard another inning. 10 hits for Peninsula tonight. Here's Henry Garcia, had a big hit back in the 3rd to plate his 6th run, batted in. He later scored on the 2 RBI single by Mason Dunaway. And the pitch is high to Henry, ball 1. Henry takes another one upstairs. Ball 2. Kind of like Robert Cook. When you get out on that mound and you're not getting that,
Right.
that front foot to slide down enough, you end up high. We've seen that with a lot of pitchers here. I don't know how common the artificial turf mound is around now. Have you seen it? You've been to Morehead City and Wilson.
Morehead City's all natural. Holly Springs is turf. Martinsville's turf infield dirt mound.
Pitch down the middle is a strike, in safely, and clinging to the base is Hunter Cole with his 20th stolen base on 24 attempts.
Yeah, I don't think there's many turf mounds.
Strike taken by Garcia.
I know it's common, like, across colleges, just throughout.
Is it?
Throughout the country? Yeah,
Yeah.
just because it's less maintenance. And
Absolutely.
a lot of teams are starting to go, or a lot of schools are starting to go to full artificial fields.
2-1 is fouled off. Henry sent that thing past Wube's car tonight. 2-2 is back to second base goes Hunter Cole. Hunter Cole will literally get about a 25-foot lead.
Oh, yeah.
He's measuring how far the second baseman's away now. Second baseman Dalton Hurst a lot closer. And Alstyne looks in. He's getting up his first run against the Pilots. Garcia drives it to center field, but right at Avery Neves. Gave it a good ride. And there's one out here in the 4th. Here's Mason Dunaway, who's lined it to the third baseman and singled to right and knocked in 2 runs. So he's hitting even above his 411 coming in tonight. 22 RBIs on the year. The all-star third baseman, I think, is what he was picked at. That one's low. Played third base the majority of his games here in 21 and 22, and he's taken over shortstop after Zach Morris went back to graduate school. And has been terrific in the field all
leads
3 summers.
Leads the league in, or leads the East in average.
Ground ball third, fielded over there by the third baseman. Throw over is a good one. Just, that Mason is very quick. Hit it sharply again, but not past Eli Wiesner. Cole holds it second with 2 down. Here's Justin Stark. Justin Knight, 1 for 2. They gave him the hit. I actually said I thought it was an error on either the right fielder or the second baseman. Probably could have split it between the 2 of them, as it fell right between them. But we'll take it. He's hit 2 home runs against these Chili Peppers this summer. 2 big ones. Ooh. That one's up and in from his college teammate.
Yep.
So you got a college battery here. VMI pitcher, VMI catcher, and then the VMI infielder at the plate. Don't tell me they're not competitive up there in Lexington. The 1-0. That one fouled off the hands.
Yeah, he lost the bat too.
Yeah. You don't think Van Alsten's going to tell the upperclassman that he knocked the bat out of his hand?
Yep.
That'd be fine. Give me 500 push-ups. The 1-1, everybody resets. Cole and Dalton Hurst having full conversation out there at second base. That one, he's not getting anything over the plate.
No, he's not.
That's fouled off the hands again. Van Alstyne, who's been a precision pitcher this summer, trying not to let that float out over the plate. Everything has been on the line so far.
Right.
The inside strike box. A 1-2 on Stark. That's away. 2-2. I tell you, VMI does a nice job mining that Central Virginia area. You'll notice not a lot of Northern Virginia players on these teams. Mainly Hampton Roads and Richmond. Fouled over towards Gage Riddick. That time he's not in dire peril. But you notice, isn't it odd that the Northern Virginia has millions of school children and not the baseball players you would expect? We have one from Reston.
I know a lot of them, they end up at, like, all the schools up there. Yeah, they end up at Mason and
driven out to right field. It's sailing into the glove of Estrada as he goes down on his knees to make the catch. Nice play by Estrada out there in the inning. But the Pilots get 1 on a couple of hits. We go to the 5th. It's 7-1 Peninsula. We go to the 5th inning. Nick Willard out for a second inning of work. He gave up 3 hits and struck out 3. Gave up just the 1 run in the 4th. He's going to face Michael Dolberry, who was on deck. That was a big strikeout of
Yeah,
Willard.
it was.
And now the righty from Yorktown to face Dolberry from Prince George and Longwood University now, right? Longwood University. They used to host some nice parties on Tuesday nights. I'm sure, Brian, you've probably been to many of those.
Nope.
That was back when they were all women.
I almost ended up out there. I almost ended up at Hampton, Sydney.
Dolberry takes one low, 2-0. Dolberry entering the night hitting .306. Tonight hit into a double play and popped to right. So the All-Star 0 for 2. That went in, they're going to appeal it. Nope, didn't swing. 3-0. Pilot pitchers up, moving around in the bullpen, but I have a feeling they're not ready at the moment. That one's in for a strike. Again, Willard bears down. They're playing Dolberry straight away in the outfield. Swing and a miss. Well, he gets his money's worth on his cut.
Oh, yeah, he does.
I imagine he'll head down to Lexington County, which is Columbia, just outside of Columbia, South Carolina. Ground ball to third, 2-hopper, 3-hopper to Martinez. Throw over, and it's wild. Past the diving Hunter Cole, and another throw as a collision at the base, Dolberry and Cole, but I hope both are okay. So I think they're going to give it. They give it an error.
Yep.
All right. So give it an E5. Fortunately, it's not another one, as Dolberry ends up at first base. Dolberry, a very fast runner. He's 12 for 16 in stolen bases, and he has always shown the intent to run at any time. You saw him there. He and Cole talk it out. So Willard falls behind and gets the ground ball, but it was hit deep to third. Martinez throw wide. Here's Avery Neves. Neves tonight's walked twice, and he fouls it off. Neves hitting .233 with 4 RBIs. He's gotten as far as second base tonight against Cook, and both walks came against Cook in the second and the third. Throw over to first base. They almost got Dolberry, who was not paying attention. That's a great move from Nick Willard, because Dolberry was not paying attention. Fortunately, Hunter Cole was. There's another one. That's a real nice move.
Mm-hmm. It's fast.
Dolberry gets a good lead. Pitch home is high, ball 1. 1-1 on Neves. Swung at the off-speed pitch and missed it. What a time to come with the off-speed there. Drops it down 13 miles an hour. So Neves in the hole, 1-2, throw over first base. That throws down, they may have gotten him.
Right.
Holds again. Oh, it just missed. Good try by Willard. I think Neves thought there was a good chance he was going to get rung up on that.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a slider that just backed up.
Too high, 3-2. Don't want to give bases to these Chili Peppers, because they will take them and more. 3-2 count now. Dolberry watching very carefully over there. Maybe a good time to pick him off. He goes. It's a walk. And Willard walks another one. Well, actually, his first one tonight, but 2 on with the error. Nobody out. Here's Cole Garrett. One of the biggest outs was Robert Cook getting him on that pop fly.
Yep.
In the third. So Garrett tonight's popped to left, popped to right. Oh, he hit him in the helmet. Here comes the trainer, Hank Morgan, of course, father of a VMI kid. Last thing in the world anybody wanted to do was that. Garrett not happy. And of course, he's going to walk over to Hank Morgan, who's going to try to cool him down because they know each other. Of course, Hank very involved in the program with Trey up there. But Willard has pitched himself into a mess here with an error on the first ground ball, then a walk and a hit by a pitch. Alex Christie, who had the single and scored the only run for the Chili Peppers, comes to the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. We saw Willard fight back last inning. Let's see if he can do it here. He's going to need those strikeouts that he can get so easily. Pazzi will give up 1 run to get the double play. So Beerline's going to walk intentionally right past the mound. Let's see if it turns his head to the pitcher. He does not. Umpire John Thomas talking to Willard. The last thing Willard wants to do is hit him in the helmet on that pitch. 3 on, nobody out. With a 6-run lead, you don't want to give it all back. So here's Christie from Hanover College. Got 6 RBIs on the year. He did score that only run in the 4th. That one gets away. Here comes the runner home and the throw up the line, and now Willard not there to make the catch. Wild pitch.
Yeah, wild pitch. He just spiked it.
Yeah, the runners move up 90 feet. Pitch course of the ball. 7-2 now. Two of them still on. Down the middle, ball low. Hit up in short right field. Stark behind the artificial dirt on the real grass. He makes a catch and looks everybody back. Very good at bat for Willard there. 1 down. They needed that. Here comes Eli Wiesner. Wiesner tonight struck out and walked. Pitch from Willard, zings it in. That's the slider, I think, 86. Whatever it is, it takes a little bit off the fastball, and it moves a little better.
Might be a changeup.
Yeah. 0-1. That one's away. Stanford able to corral it, 1-1. Miles Webb on deck for the Peppers. Neves at third, Garrett at second. That one's in for.
That's tough.
2-1. That was a ball called high. Fouled off. 2-2. Line foul over towards the clubhouse. Out of play. Stays 2-2. Swing and a miss. Stanford hangs on to it. Tags him just in case. Big strikeout. 4th for Willard here in an inning and 2/3. 2 down now in the 5th. If he can get out of this one with 1 run and scored, he's done something.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Miles Webb. He struck out against Willard in the 4th. Got on, ended an inning with a fielder's choice ground ball in the 2nd. Popped up behind first base foul territory. Hunter Cole drifting back and makes the catch. So another curious inning where Nick Willard just fought his way through and gives up the 1 run, but no more than the 1 run. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. Piles lead at 7-2. All right, we're back here, bottom of the 5th. Pilots lead at 7-2 here after 4.5. Middle of the order here, Ryan Dooley, Chris Martinez, Trey Morgan for Peninsula. Peninsula's big inning was the 3rd with 5. They got 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th. So Dooley from JMU steps in tonight. He's has an RBI. What's he got there? Yeah, an RBI on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. And a pop-up. So he's 0 for 2, but with their RBI, he's 16th. He takes a pitch low for Van Alstyne, who's in his 2nd inning of work for the Tri-City Chili Peppers. That one's up, 2-0. Garrett back behind the plate. That's good to see that. He got hit in the head there in the top half of the inning. Chopper on the infield. Pass Van Alstyne. Quickly to first. Safe. Oh, that's
wow.
That's a horrible call. That's a horrible call. And nothing to do about it. We'll give credit to Hurst. He made the play, but that was bad. 1 down. Here's Chris Martinez tonight. Martinez with a home run to knock himself in, and a single the next inning to knock somebody else in. He shares the wealth. 18 RBIs now, 6 homers for Chris Martinez. Takes the pitch high, ball 1. That's a tough play there as Dooley was really hustling, and I think that foot was long on the bag before that ball hit the glove. Swing and a miss. Chris trying to hit that one to next week. Got out in front of the off-speed pitch. 1-1 now. It must be something to play in Oklahoma all summer and then come to Virginia. I mean, all fall and winter and come to Virginia. Ground ball backhanded out there by the shortstop, bobbled it, and they call him out. That time, Christie had a bobble, but able to recover and make the play. 2 down here on 2 close plays at first, and here's Trey Morgan. Morgan's walked and grounded out tonight. He comes up to check on Garrett. You go to VMI, you have friends for life, and it extends across jerseys. Morgan takes one away. Ball 1. Trey's average creeping back up. He'd been above 300 and down below, now coming back up to that number. Takes one away. Of course, on base percentage generally every year very good. So Van Alstyne tried 2 outside off-speed pitches to the left-hand hitter. That one gets away from Garrett. Called strike. Called strike after the ball rolled 20 feet away. Trey Morgan not happy with that. Of course, it was this umpire that threw him out one night. And a little parting gift in words, a verbal parting gift, and that cost Trey a game. 2-1. Slash foul with third base side, 2-2. Dolberry shallow in center field against Morgan. Swing and a miss. Van Alstyne retires the side here in the 5th, but the Pilots lead it by 5. It's 7-2 going to the 6th. Back in a minute. All right, we're back here for the top of the 6th. New pitcher for the Pilots. This is Olvis Janeo. Janeo comes in, making his, let's see, his total, because his name is split on the stat sheets. This is his 10th appearance and his 8th in relief. He's thrown 21 and 2/3 innings. No, take that back. Hang on a minute. 17 and 2/3 innings. Giving up 25 hits, 16 runs, 10 of those earned. 7 walks, 15 strikeouts. Opposing teams hitting .325 against Olvis Janeo. And he's going to face number 9, 1, and 2 hitters for the Chili Peppers. Swing and a miss by Hurst, who has never not gotten his money's worth on a swing either. He's big swing. Does have a home run, and I believe it's against the Pilots.
Yes.
Janeo delivers another one. That time just missed by Hurst. Quickly 0-2. Missed up and away 1-2. All those pitches for Southeastern University down in Florida. He's from Manchester, New Hampshire. Up 2-2. Away 3-2. So he was ahead 0-2. Now he's tied up 3-2. That one's a swung and a miss. So three big cuts from Hurst, but a strikeout's the result. We go to the top of the order. Here's Danny Estrada. Estrada with an RBI single in the 4th. Walked and struck out tonight, so he's 1 for 2. Big power hitting left-hander from Frostburg State. Lefty on lefty here. Driven to right center field. Is going to drop in for a base hit, and it's going to sit just like every other one tonight. One pitch single. 1 on, 1 out. And here's Cameron Miller. Miller tonight struck out 3 times. Once against the starter Calden, once against Cook, and once against Willard. Miller plays at Ashland. Miles can close the inning out with a ground ball double play. Stark up near second base. Now he gets away from it a little bit. Drops back in the hole. Here's the pitch. 87-mile-an-hour pitch, top of the zone, but called a ball. Henry Morgan, our caretaker, our owner, very vocal in support of his pitcher. Swinging right into the glove of Cole Stanford, 1-1. Throw to first base. Almost went by him. Nice play by Cole to stick that glove. You got another right-handed first baseman over there. Stark plays over there as well as a right-hander. That one almost got behind the runner. Pitch is bunted. Right to Janeo. He's got one play. Can't make it. Infield hit for Miller. So a good bunt from Miller. Puts 2 on with 1 out. And the batter is Michael Dolberry, who seems to come to the plate with somebody on most every time. The only time we got around that in the 2nd. So Dolberry tonight been kept in check. He's 0 for 3. Did get on and score a run in the 5th. Got on an error. Hit a ground ball behind third base. So Dolberry with 35 RBIs on the year takes 1 for a strike.
Stay low.
Yep. That could be the mantra, couldn't it? Swing and a miss. Hit another one that he's going to get every bit of his money. 0-2. That one was up in the zone.
Yeah. It was out, which helped, but that was a big swing.
Always checks his runner. That one's fouled off. Dolberry's just had one of those summers this year. He seems to put the bat on the ball every time. And the Pirates have held him in check. And to be honest, he doesn't have that batter ahead of him now. Kind of makes him
right
a little more. You can pitch to him a little different. That one's away. 1 and 2 on Dolberry. With Ike out of the lineup, it's a whole different ball game. Miller with the hit there after 3 strikeouts. The 1-2. That one's away. 2 and 2.
Way out.
Yep. Yeah, that was way out. Came right down
There
the middle
it
and went
is.
right after him. Second strikeout for Janeo, second out of the inning. And here's Avery Neves. Neves tonight has walked 3 times. Not yet scored. He's been ended up at first, ended up at second, ended up at third in those 3 trips. See if Janeo can get him out. Plays his college ball at Lynchburg. Called strike. That seemed like it was almost a mistake, and he got the call.
You're right.
Ground ball to short. Dunaway goes a short way, and they make the play. Stark able to dig it out. So that does it. The Peppers strand a couple more runners. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Pilots lead at 7-2. Ethan Ott, Cole Stanford, Hunter Cole for the Pilots here in the 6th. They lead at 7-2. Frank Edgar, Brian Waller, Wube Gabre with you as always this summer. Thank you again for your patience. We try to get some local stars up here in some big parts of our community. You know, a guy like Kevin Gould that works in the shipyard, you know, and it starts there and then ends up at NASA. 2 of our biggest employers here on the peninsula. We are what we are because of those 2 places. And then Tommy Evac, who's done more for HRA sports and is well known around here. Probably is one of the best players not to play in the public high schools. Because around here, it's always the public high schools control or dominate the publicity. Here's Ethan Ott, who singled and scored a run back in the 3rd. He grounded into the 1-2-3 double play to end that long inning. His first at bat since the 3rd, in which he batted twice. Facing Van Alstyne for the first time. Swing and a miss. Van Alstyne takes a little bit off that one. That one's inside, 1-1. The 1-1. Line to left field, base hit, pass it down. Alex Christie. Somebody's woken up that bat.
That's right.
And right on time. I bet he's got 4 hits in the last 8 at bats. Maybe the last 9 at bats.
Yeah.
So leadoff man on, the form of Ethan Ott over at first base. Here's Cole Stanford. Stanford's just a measly 2 for 2 tonight with 2 stolen bases, 2 runs scored. Grounder up the middle. Chopper. Christie steps on the bag for 1, throws, and gets it. So hit perfectly for the double play. Piles have been the victim of a double play tonight 3 times. 6-4-3 on that. No, 6-3 as Christie went the whole way himself. So 2 down in the top of the order. Here's Hunter Cole. Leadoff man's got 2 singles tonight to go with his 3 on bases out of 4 last game. So he has cemented himself at the top. That pitch is low, ball one. Cole singled in the first, popped to the catcher trying to bunt and sacrifice himself in the third, and then singled in the fourth. In for a strike, 1-1. Does have an RBI tonight, increasing that tally to 18. Went to Wayne, got away from Garrett. 2-1. I'd love to see somebody give it a ride over Dolberry's head in center field.
Oh, yeah.
He's creeping in about a yard every inning.
Oh, well, Dolberry's not in center.
Oh, who's that? Oh, it's Neves.
Yeah, it's
Neves. And he's crept in just a little bit each inning because the ball is sitting in the grass when it hits. That one misses. 2-1. It's going to be 3-1. I'm just pleased we got the game in tonight. I didn't want 3 double headers coming up 3 weeks. That one outside walked him. So a 2-out walk issued to Cole. And here's Henry Garcia, who's hit the ball hard all 3 times tonight. Once into a double play, once to center field to Neves. And then a blast to left center field for a base hit in the third. He came around and scored later. Short lead over there for Cole, though he will try to steal a base. He's 24 on the year. Does have a stolen base in tonight's ball game. Throw over again. And why not? Because Hunter Cole will bounce in the middle of the baseline. He'll just stand out there and bounce around. And he'll just take off. He's had a good eye all summer. I think he was 15 for 15 at one time. He holds, pitches high. Ball one to Henry Garcia from Howard Junior College in Texas. So he goes from New York City, from Manhattan to Texas to Virginia. Whole circuit there for his baseball year. 1-0. Swung on and missed the off-speed pitch. 1-1. Runner holds, pitch high. 2-1. Swung with the low off-speed pitch. Fooled him completely, did a Van Alstyne. So Henry back in now with a 2-2 count. 2 down here in the 6th. What does that mean? We're getting closer to Superfan Wayne. We did not see him before the game, so we may have a substitute tonight. Throw to first base. That time Cole pulled the old Superman back to first base. I hope Jim Aaron can get that picture because he looks like he's just a low-flying Superman and no choice but to dive back. He holds up and in, very nearly got a little piece of Henry. 3-2. People love Henry Garcia. You hear that crowd? They support him. It hit him right square in the back. That's thinking it's going to be a curveball that breaks, and it doesn't break at all. And he waited. That's good coaching growing up, but it's painful coaching. As he waited for that thing to break, and it didn't, and caught him right in the ribs. And who's up? Of Dunaway. Dunaway's hit the ball hard 3 times. Once he lined out to third base, once he grounded at third base, and then he knocked 2 runs in with a single in the third. So Mason Dunaway at the plate, headed down to Lexington County tonight for the All-Star festivities. They go to the runners. That ball's way high, and everybody steals a base. And this is why Cole and Garcia have their base numbers up. 21st steal for Cole. Garcia follows him to second base. So 2 on with 2 out. Base hit may bring in 2. 1-0 count on Dunaway. He drives it to left field, base hit. That Dunaway just continued on. Here comes Garcia. He almost runs over Cole and in for the double, and it gets away, but backed up over there by the first baseman. So a 2-run double for the top hitter in the Coastal Plain League. 2 more RBIs, giving him 4 for the night and 24 for the year. And the Pilots move ahead 9-2.
Yeah, he's a bat that needs to stay hot the rest of the way.
Well, we talked to the guys on the other side of the booth, and they said this is the one guy that gets them every time, and sure enough, he's got them tonight. 4 RBIs for Dunaway. 2 for 4 tonight. Pitches away. Ball 1 to Justin Stark. Stark tonight. Single and scored a run in 3 trips. Von Alstein's given up a lot of runs. He has not given up a run yet against the Pilots until tonight. Gives up 2 here.
Yeah, that's got to feel good for us, just knowing that even though I got dominated you so far, you can still come out and get them.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't see it. Mason Dunaway doesn't get a break the next couple innings because it's an all-star game coming on Wednesday. They got the competitions tomorrow. Don't know exactly what Lexington County has planned. 1-0. Stark's been a killer of the Peppers too. Dunaway makes those pitchers pay. He gets ahead in the count and he just sits on one. All by himself on the bases. Stark takes another one high, 3-0 on Nehemiah. All of a sudden, Van Alstyne is in trouble. Gives off a leadoff single to Ott. Stanford grounds into the double play. And then single hit by pitch and double. And he's walked him on 4 pitches. And it doesn't get any easier for opposing pitchers.
No.
Because here's Dooley, then Martinez, then Morgan, then Ott, then Stanford. I mean, it just doesn't get any easier. Van Alstyne not happy at himself. They'll go out and support their pitcher. One thing about it, they can go through the bullpens tonight unless it's an all-star pitcher. They can go because they're all going to get rest for the next few days. Both teams are off Thursday as well. It's Monday night, isn't it?
Yep.
It's hard to believe. The weekend was odd because we were counting on that doubleheader yesterday. We all had plans around the doubleheader, and that was washed out at, what, 2 o'clock? It was early in the afternoon.
It was noon.
Noon, yeah. Did y'all go see the Tom Cruise movie instead?
I did not.
Left-hand hitting JMU Duke Ryan Dooley comes in. He's popped to center. RBI on a fielder's choice and grounded out. So he's 0 for 3, but with the RBI, giving him 16 on the year. Called strike on the outside corner. His JMU teammate Dunaway at second base. VMI Stark at first. Neves in center is drifted over into left center to play against the left-hander Dooley. Line out to left field, but it's going to hit the turf and stick. In comes Dunaway. You got to wonder if Dunaway got one of those guys. He got yelled at for being a small kid that could never sit down in school because he runs those bases. RBI number 17 for Dooley, his first hit of the night. That does it for Van Alstyne. to second base is Stark. So the Pilots finally get to Van Alstyne. And he's going to go off and give way to a right-hander, it looks like. Three in here, 13 hits total for the Pilots. My goodness.
They're a hitting team recently.
Well, you start looking at his lineup, they were supposed to be a hitting enemy.
Right.
These guys were really, they just couldn't string them together. 39?
Mm-hmm. 39.
You can say the number.
Okay.
People know we're looking it up because you and I have had a hard time tonight finding the
39.
pitchers. It's always difficult. This is Connor Knox from George Mason. We mentioned George Mason
yeah, there
earlier.
you go.
Of course, he's from Manassas. There's a Northern Virginia, so there's two on there from Northern Virginia. 5'11", 180-pound right-handed pitcher from Manassas, rising sophomore at George Mason, Connor Knox. So pencil him in here. He's introduced to the crowd. Knox this year, so far in the season, he's been one of their better ones. He's got a 0.0 ERA, so he's near the top. He's making his third appearance, both times in relief, both times one inning. No hits yet, no runs, no earned runs. Has struck out 3 in those 2 innings. Opposing teams have not gotten a hit off Connor Knox. And of course, he comes in new to face, but Chris Martinez has got he's 2 for 3 with two RBIs tonight. Getting a lot of warm-up pitching. Now, I know he's counting, but he's taking his time because we're playing the entire song. I think once you get past a couple times of Who Let the Dog Out, I think you understand the theme of the song. Here's Martinez. He homered in the second. He singled in the third, and he's grounded out. 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a home run tonight for the kid from the Dominican Republic. Stark hiding behind the umpire at second base. That pitch low from Knox. 0-1. It's the 8th batter to come to the plate in this 6th inning. Pilots have batted around 1 time already tonight. Back in the 3rd. That was the most look-backs by any pitcher we've seen all season.
Yes.
And ends up throwing a second ball. Taking that keep your head on a swivel, or they hand it to you on a platter routine a little too much. Here he goes again. Says right, left, and delivers. There go the runners. Pitch in for a strike, taken all the way. Stolen base for Stark. His 11th on the year. Trailing behind him is Dooley to second base. So 2 on, 2 out. 2-1 count on Martinez. He's got every chance in the world of hitting a home run here. He's just been hot as fire lately. Chris drives it to center field and deep. Back goes Neves. He's still going back.
Wow.
He make the catch. He did. That's a great play by Avery Neves. He's made a couple out there today as Martinez gives it a ride. The Pilots strand a few, but they end up picking up 3 runs. We go to the 7th. It is 10-2 Peninsula. move to the top of the 7th here. Peninsula Pilots 10, Tri-City Chili Peppers 2. Olvis Janeo out for a second inning of work, the left-hander from Southeastern University facing Cole Garrett. Garrett was hitting the head back in the 5th, made it all the way to second base. He's popped up twice, so he's 0 for 2. Takes the ball from Janeo, first time he's faced Olvis tonight. And the Big O delivers. High fly ball to left field. Dooley looking up with the, well, it looks like the Warner telescope trying to see that one. Makes the catch. He's played outfield very well. That first night here, when he was in right field, we kidded him because he was all over right field.
Right.
He was deep, he was shallow, left, right, foul territory. But he is really learning to play the corners. One down here, and here's Alex Christie. Bless you. Brian hopefully not bringing the COVID into the booth.
Nope.
Christie tonight 1 for 3 with a run scored in the 4th. Actually, the first run scored by the Peppers. Swing and a miss. Now, my law partner went to, his wife went to China, which she's from China, so she came back with COVID. So he's out, staying away from all of us. There's a strike on the outside corner. You know, that stuff is still out there, and it just, it's random. Many of us have had shots. I've had 3 shots, I think. That seeing you maybe had 3 shots. I'm not sure if I'm going back. I'm a little worried about the heart. You know, I read something the other day, and I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm not even, I'll figure it out. I had the illness in October last year. Call strike 3. You talk about moving his pitch around.
Yeah.
That's out, in his feet.
Yep.
1, 2 down here in the 7th. Here's Eli Wiesner tonight, struck out twice and walked. So Janeo, the lefty, delivers. That one slash foul. Strike 1. We don't know who's going to sing "Take Me Out of the Ball Game." I know everybody's home crossing their fingers going, not Superfan Wayne. But it's Wayne has actually picked up the quality. There's a pitch. We'll see who steps up to the mic. It may be the guy making that sound now. 0-2. Swung on and missed.
Bang.
Olvis finishes strong his 2 innings. 4 strikeouts for Olvis in 2 innings.
He looks good.
All right, we go down to Superfan somebody. Let's see what happens. Oh, no. Superfan Mark. Hands over ears. Here we go. Well, Superfan Mark making an indelible mark on the ears of Peninsula Pilot fans. Wube already on the phone with Adele, trying to get her to come in and sing when Superfan Wayne is home. In fact, if she comes in, Superfan Wayne can stay home. But no, thanks for Mark for stepping in tonight. Wayne will be back Saturday. You know, when you have such a tight-knit group of fans where one guy has to announce where Wayne is because everybody says he's not in his seat. Everybody's worried about him. Back on the mound is Connor Knox for a second inning of work. He had come in and faced just one batter in the 6th. So this is Trey Morgan and Ethan Ott and Cole Stanford to face Knox. Knox enticed a long fly ball that Avery Neves ran down in center field to end that 6th. Pilots put up 3 in that inning. Morgan up now. 0 for 2 with the walk tonight. Takes a ball. Swung on and missed. 1-1. That one's inside. 2-1. Nice to have both Tommy and Kevin up here tonight, mainly because they were fellow Withites. So Tommy lives in the New Pernuse Inn right off Chesapeake Avenue. That's where he grew up. And Kevin grew up right along Shell Road, which is part of the Wythe neighborhood, and produced some of the greatest athletes I've ever known in my life, including Ronald Curry later on. Line to second base. Hurst on one hop behind the sand pit makes a throw and retires Morgan. 1 out here in the 7th. Yeah, the Goulds were just one family of many that had great athletes in the area over here. I mean, the guys I played with, the Lynch family, and Reggie Woods, Stan Jones. Those guys, I mean, Clayton White, Billy Weaver. Yeah, Robert Banks. Well, you know the story. Robert Banks played at Notre Dame, right? Ott pops it way up in the sky. I'm not sure who's going to go after that one. It looks like it's going to be Miles Webb, the first baseman. He tried to backhand it. Is Dalton Hurst once again kind of swirling around? I'm not sure he saw it. Now, they got to score that an error.
Yeah, you have to.
We've seen some inconsistent scoring, but that's definitely an error on the first baseman, and it probably wasn't his ball.
No, I mean, he was all the way out to where that sand pit is.
So with 1 on and 1 out here, Cole Stanford. Robert Banks, the giant, I mean, he was a lineman.
Oh, Barham White coming in.
Oh, Barham White to be hit for Stanford. The 2 swap it. He homered last time we saw him on Saturday night. Had several RBIs in his last few games. The Cajun takes one low from Knox. Ball 1. Now, how big was Robert Banks? About 6'4", 6'5". I blocked his shot. I blocked his jumper. Sure, we were in rec league. He was a little younger than me, like 3 years younger than me, but he played big. He was big. He had a brother named Lloyd that was my age. It was smaller and quick. Yeah, I blocked that stuff. They don't take it in on me in rec league. Robert goes on to be one of the best football players out of the Commonwealth. That one's in the feet of Barham White, 2-0 on the Cajun. Yeah. Played for Bear Bryant and Don Shula, yeah. The 2-0 to Barham, swing and a miss. Of course, our friend Tony Rutland played with Allen Iverson, with Tim Duncan, and then did he catch the end of Dominique Wilkins' career? He was a terrific basketball player out of Bethel High. 2-1 on Barham White. Foul that one right off the very end of the bat. 2-2 now. White comes in tonight with a .214 average. Double, 2 home runs, and 7 RBIs. Our catchers have provided good offense for the Pilots this summer. You'd see both of them have a new one on the roster, I'm told. Cole Stanford, Barham White, and then Cohen Wilbanks for a little while in the first half. Barham lets that one go low. You know, it's hard to come in here in the 7th inning and read that zone, but Barham has done a great job here, 3-2. Still at first base, Ott not much of a base-stealing threat. Barham ground ball to short. Christie's going backhand. He's going to have a play at second. So fielder's choice scored 6-4 for the second out. White ends up over there at first. And here's the leadoff man, Hunter Cole. Cole in his new debut at the other night in the leadoff spot, he was 3 for 4. Tonight, he is 2 for 3 with a walk, so he's been on base 3 times. He also has an RBI. He's got a couple stolen bases. Sold some Parker's pulled pork barbecue during the break in the innings. Done everything. Swing and a miss to the off speed. Yeah, I did vote for him. I got to say, I mean, I try not to be too much of a homer, but these guys, you could tell by watching them day to day. And 21 stolen bases in 25 trips. Throw to first base. Back safely is Barham White, excuse me, because White's just like Cole Stanford. They almost dare each other to steal a base. Got a good lead over there. That went high. Any PBR tonight, Brian?
No.
Going out for the Monday night special?
I'm not.
Bingo and beer at PBR? The 1-1. The youngster like you call the numbers if you go out there on time. 2-1.
Maybe something during the All-Star break.
They still got one of those disco balls that you like to film when you're out there?
I think they do have one, yes.
I'm too old to get into the PBR. We'll be right on the line. Couldn't even get my wife to a Tom Cruise movie, let alone get her to the PBR. Yeah. My father would have a cold beer on a Saturday. My mother would crack open one can, pour half in a glass, give the can to Dad, and keep the glass, and that's what they had with their lunch. The 2-2 now with 2 outs to Cole. Hunter swings through it. Strike 3. That finishes the inning. It's strand 1, but we go the 8th with a 10-2 lead. Back in just a minute. Well, we got several changes for the Pods. The All-Stars have come out of the game. So out is Garcia, out is Dunaway. We'll get you the changes here, but a new pitcher. This is Knuckles, Cameron Knuckles. We'll get you his statistics as the big right-hander deals and delivers a second ball to Miles Webb. 2-0 on Webb. Webb tonight 0 for 3. Knuckles from Virginia Commonwealth. He delivers a third ball. Originally from Richmond, Virginia. 6'4", 230-pound, solid young man, rising junior up there at VCU. And he gets a strike in there, 3-1. Defensive changes. Dooley, it's Garcia out and right. Dooley goes to right. As a fouled off. Barham White is now catching, by the way. Cisco, Mark Cisco's entered the game for Garcia, but he's at second base. Stark goes to first.
Cole goes to left.
Cole goes to left.
And Parker at short.
And Darnell Parker has come in. He's replacing Dunaway. So Darnell replaces Dunaway. And Mark Cisco replaces Garcia. And we'll figure out the defensive stuff. Knuckle gives up a 5-pitch walk to Miles Webb. Now the number 9 hitter, Dalton Hurst, fouls it off. 0-1 tonight. Dalton Hurst singles twice and strikes out. So we give you the defensive lineup on the infield in a minute. That pitch is away. 1-1. So Martinez still at third, Parker at short, Cisco at second. Stark moves from second to first. It's a very good defensive lineup as well. Knuckles again high, 2-1. Then outfield in left now is Hunter Cole, Morgan in center, and Dooley in right. And the catcher's Barham White, who entered last inning and hit. Fly ball down the left field line. It's tailing away, and it's out of play, right between the wall and the building. 2-2 on Hurst. Thirteen hits for the Pilots, 6 for the Chili Peppers. Knuckles delivered, and he was late on the swing.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Second strikeout for Hurst, first one for Knuckles, and first out of the inning. Top of the order now is Danny Estrada. Estrada tonight struck out, singled and knocked a run in, singled and walked. So he is 2 for 3 with that RBI. Chili Pepper scored 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th as we watch the strike from Knuckles to Estrada. Pilot's going to test this new defensive posture and then get a ground ball and see if they can complete the double play. That went up under his arms. Not as far in as you thought, though. 1-1. Knuckles one of those guys that get the heavy pitch. You can hear the sound in Barham White's glove. That one's away. 2-1. Estrada was 7 home runs on the year with 21 RBIs now. The guy Knuckles needs to challenge. He does that time. Comes in right underneath the armpits. 2-2.
Yeah, Estrada crowds the plate real close.
Fouled it off. Let's get the Barry Bonds starter set on the elbow, though, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to if you're going to stand that close.
Yeah. Barry Bonds basically go up there in a suit of armor and stand on the plate and get hit and say, oh, see? And know my head hadn't gotten bigger. Two and two. Pop foul over Wu-Bei's head and out of play. Wonder if we've gone to Danny's Auto Glass to get him to sponsor. Now, he was a sponsor for years.
He was for a while.
Back. Still a good place to go get your glass replaced in your automobile. 2-2. That one, Barham White snags it. Nobody knew he had it. It skipped along the grass. 3-2. the pitcher up. That may be Varnier in the.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because you can't see his head. Tall guy. Double play ball. Parker to one. Cisco to first.
Got him.
They got him. Double play. So some good glove work by Cisco as the throw's a little bit off. 6-4-3 off the bat of Estrada. That does it for the Chili Peppers here in the 8th. We go to the bottom half of the inning. It's 10-2 Peninsula. Well, we're back here for the bottom of the 8th inning. Piles lead at 10-2 over the Chili Peppers. Frank Edgar, Brian Waller, Wube Gabre bringing in the game tonight. Pilots have been in control since the second. They scored one in the second, 5 in the third to put themselves out to a good-sized lead. New pitcher for Tri-Cities. This is Will Riley from VMI. Riley comes in making his 7th appearance on relief. He's thrown an inning per appearance, giving up 4 hits, 2 runs, none earned. 2 walks, 9 strikeouts for Riley, an 0-1 win-loss record with a 0.0 ERA. So Riley on with, and he's got the 2, 3, and 4 hitters here. And this is Mark Cisco hitting for Garcia. So Cisco, who came in the game in the top half of the inning, part of that inning double play. Say that 5 times fast.
You can attempt it. I know I can't.
1-1 from Will Riley. Cisco hitting 195 this year with a double and a homer and 2 RBIs. That home run came right here in this ballpark. Drives it out to right field. Sinking ball to Estrada. He makes the catch. So 1 out here. And the batter is the other substitute, Darnell Parker. It's good that these guys get the chance behind the All-Stars. Parker from Carrollton, Virginia, headed to Wichita State from Nansemond River High School this fall. Hitting 200 so far, making his 9th appearance on the year. He's 2 for 10 so far. As a young man gets used to the wood bat and the college pitching. Parker takes a strike on the outside corner from Will Riley. That one gets away from the catcher, Garrett, and gets away from the plate area, 1-1. Parker on that, I still got the newspaper. He's in that first all-region team, which is not easy to get on that list. That's all the way from Virginia Beach to Suffolk, all the way up to Williamsburg on the peninsula. Parker over there at Nansemond River, which is not known as a baseball school by any means, and yet makes the first team. 2-1 on Darnell Parker. It's going to be a wheat shocker.
Ooh.
It hit him somewhere.
On the guard.
On the guard, the Barry Bonds starter set. Those are very common now. The elbow pad. You ever saw Barry Bonds? He had padding. He practically wore shoulder pads.
His elbow guard was huge.
All the way down. He had a pad on every bit of that arm. He was a right and a left-handed hitter, so all that right arm looked like he was in armor. And he'd stand on top of the plate and dare you to throw it. There was a point that one season they'd walk him. I mean, I think he set the walk record.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the right-hand hitter, Justin Stark, now first baseman from VMI, facing his teammate. That one's up and in.
Got him.
And he hit him. Well, that'll cost him some push-ups. The Stark's a senior man down there. So 1 out, 2 on, 2 hit by pitches. And here's Ryan Dooley, now the right fielder. Ryan tonight, a hit and 4 trips, but 2 RBIs. Riley's going to call his catcher Garrett out, the 2 VMI teammates. We say during the break, can't swing a dead cat without hitting a VMI key dat here tonight.
That's right.
Did you figure out where that came from?
I did.
Famous novel?
No, it comes
Screenplay?
from the 16th century when sailors were punished by being whipped with a cat o' 9 tails.
Oh, that. There you go. Is that Wikipedia that you just wrote, or is that real?
This was on grammarmonster.com.
There you go. Maybe they'll sponsor us.
Yeah, why not?
We got to learn something in this show. We try to educate and entertain, bring you some really good baseball, which we're doing tonight. 10-2 lead for the Pilots. That one's low. So after the conversation, Dooley with a 1-0 count. Started tonight hitting 289. Lash down for third base, but foul. Past the perpetual target down there, Gage Riddick, third base coach. Had they all gone to cleaning their white spikes, trying to in the Martinez model?
Maybe so.
Gage looks like he's got brand new ones. When you see him tonight, ask him if he's wearing butter cookies. See what he says to that. Should have asked Kevin Gould that night. He certainly would know what I meant. Trying to, they sorting out baseball, trying to find a dry one. I know.
Probably.
I know. It's just that every time it scoots on the artificial turf on the grass, it does pick up moisture, and you want to get a dry baseball. There's a bloop. Oh, Christie makes the catch. Throw back to first, safe. That's a nice play by Alex Christie because it was hard to gauge how fast it was, and he jumped early, but he's able to reach up. So a good catch by Christie.
He almost jumped too early.
He did. He did jump early, and his hang time allowed him to make the catch. So 2 down now. Fortunately, Stark got back on his belly to first base just in time. Good play by Christie. But the Pilots still have 2 on, and here, who else? Chris Martinez, speaking of white spikes. It's homer tonight. Singled another run in. That one low, dug out by Garrett. There's 2 hit by pitches that put the 2 men on here. Let's see if Martinez can make them pay for that. Called strike. That's like a slider. Sharp breaking outside. 1-1. Swung on. Same pitch. Just got a piece of it, but not enough. 1-2. This is the 12th ball game between these 2 teams, and they still owe each other a couple of games up there. Throw back to second base. No throw, but hop, skip, and a jump. Slash down the right field line, but foul. It's going to get over the wall up to the face of the clubhouse. Stays 1-2 on Chris Martinez. Game seems to have moved more slowly than normal. It's another foul off. A lot of foul balls. A lot of, that's a 94-mile-an-hour pitch.
Yeah, that was a hard fastball.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 runs and 19 hits will do that.
Yes. And a lot of men on, a lot of hit by pitches and walks tonight for both clubs. Nothing we've seen that's been intentional, by the way. We're just seeing, I think the ball gets wet. Drilled at the left field. That's going to get down in fair territory. Around comes one. And in the third comes a second. And in the second with the double. So Martinez tonight, one hit away, one triple away from the cycle. Third RBI of the night, taking him to 19.
He's hit the ball hard every single time tonight, too.
And for the last, week and a half?
Yeah, it feels that way.
Telling you, when this lineup comes together like it's doing now, holy mackerel. So 11-2 now, and Trey Morgan at the plate looking for his first base hit tonight. And a base hit will bring in a couple. He and Cole Garrett are good friends back there. That's why he's pretending to bunt the throw in. And, of course, facing his other teammate on the mound.
Yep.
First earned run. I don't know. Do you give earned runs when you hit the pitches? I guess you do because he hit them. Swing and a miss. He's allowed 2 runs, but none earned. He's now allowed 3. And I think 1 earned. 0-1. And Garrett stops it. 1-1. So Starks at third base. So you got 4 VMI guys within 90 feet here. Pitcher, catcher, batter, runner on third. Trey Morgan chopped it to his teammate. It's off the glove. Run's going to score. He's safe. And, they've hit the run rule, haven't they?
That'll end it.
I was going to say, we just miscounted, but that little blooper off the glove of Will Riley, that's going to be scored in error. But it drives in the winning run, the run that puts them up by 10 after 6 innings. So the Pilots win it 12-2 over the Chili Peppers. What an outing for Peninsula as we hit in the All-Star break. Brian and I are going to take a break, and then we'll be back for our Dominion Power post-game show in 2 minutes.
Discover endless adventures in Hampton, Virginia. Soak up the sun and the fun at Buckrope Beach or Outlook Beach. Gaze into the stars at the Virginia Air and Space Science Center. Walk in the footsteps of history at Fort Monroe. Plus, starting in April, we're launching our new tour of the world's greatest natural harbor and a walking trail of Hampton's best restaurants. With its central location, Hampton is like discovering a world of excitement right in your own backyard. So plan your adventure at visithampton.com.
I would choose to stay in downtown Hampton because everything is very localized. Everything is really close together. Whether you're looking for a good bakery to go to, a good restaurant to go to, a good bar, whether you're coming for business or pleasure, they have something for everybody. Staying in the Hampton area, you have an awesome view right outside your hotel room. You have a view of the marina, the water. I mean, you can't beat that. The great part about the restaurants in downtown Hampton is the fact that they're not chain restaurants. They're locally owned restaurants. They take a lot of pride in the food that they cook. They have awesome presentation, and everything tastes as good as it looks. What makes downtown Hampton unique, you're meeting a variety of people, from people that are going to school out here, going to college, to a lot of military personnel that are from a lot of different areas. I love this place. It's a tight-knit community, and that's what's really great about the Hampton area.
Dedicated Dominion Energy employees work hard in Virginia every day.
We're your friends and neighbors.
We're parents and grandparents.
We are military veterans.
And we're working together
to build a safer, more secure grid.
because you deserve reliable power.
That's there when you need it.
Virginians can depend on us because at Dominion Energy, our power is our people.
My name's David Toby. I'm Operations and Construction Manager with Dominion Energy. The C-Valve project is a great crossroads just for me and anglers like myself and others. The sustainability all the way around from a carbon reduction standpoint and obviously from a fishing resource, keeping the environment in a way that we can all use it generations to come. Proud to be a part of a company that's the leader in wind energy. Big impact for everybody, positive impact.
Brian Waller.
All right, we're back here for the Dominion Energy post-game show. Frank Edgar, Brian Waller with you as we have seen a really good game from the Pilots tonight. 12-2 is our final. They win it on that 10-run rule here in the bottom of the 8th. 14 hits, 12 runs. Couple errors for the Pilots tonight, but nothing that damaged them too bad. They only give up 2 runs. They strike out 13 Chili Peppers in 8 innings, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. If you can rag up strikeouts against a team, then it just shows that your pitching was there. They're not picking up the ball very well, and more likely than not, you're going to win a game like that.
So we see Calden go the first. We see it was the Old Dominion kid that comes in and pitches. Yeah, the Lex who Cook, Robert Cook.
Oh, yeah, Robert Cook.
He comes in for 2. Willard comes in for 2. He gives up the 2 runs tonight and strikes out 4 in his 2 innings of work, including 3 in the 4th. Then he's relieved by Janeo. Olvis again comes in. He strikes out 4 in 2 innings.
Yeah, he looks really good.
And then the last pitcher, and I slipped my mind.
Cam Knuckles.
Cam Knuckles comes in. And he gets a strikeout in his inning work and the double play that ended that. So the Pilots, great pitching. Tonight the hitting it's really something to watch, Brian. Tonight 7 different Pilots scored. Actually 8 because Parker scored.
Yep.
And he substituted for Dunaway. But of the 9 lines of batters, 7 lines scored. Everybody participated. Trey Morgan with that last little blurb to the pitcher drives in the winning run. The ending run is probably a better way to put it. So there he gets on the board. 2 runs scored by Stanford tonight, the catcher. A run from Ott, who had 2 hits tonight. There's a guy heating up.
Yep.
Martinez with the home run tonight, along with a single, 3 RBI, a single, a double, and a home run, 3 RBIs for Chris Martinez. Dooley, 1 base hit tonight, an RBI single in the 6th. Stark tonight, 2 runs scored, hit by a pitch, got on and scored, singled and got on and scored. For Dunaway tonight, I don't even you start even admiring. He was 2 for 4 tonight. The 2 he got out was a line drive to third baseman, a hard shot to the third baseman. Doubled and knocked in a run in the 6th. Singled and knocked in 2 runs in the 3. Heads off to the All-Star game with an average that's close to 420.
Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable. I mean, he's in the box score every time he's in the game.
Garcia tonight hit by a pitch and scored, popped up, singled and scored, and hit into a double play. So 1 for 3 tonight for Garcia, yet he scores 2 runs and knocks 1 in.
Still productive, even not getting hits.
And in the leadoff spot, Hunter Cole tonight, he did strike out in the 7th. He walked and scored in the 6th. He singled and drove a run in the 4th. And he singled to lead off the ball game. So he's done everything they've asked him to do in that leadoff spot. So as we go into this break, Brian, what are we looking for when we come back? It's a for the Pilots, a four-day break, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They're back in action. Friday on the road at Morehead City. What do you think? Is this going to help the Pilots get better? Is it going to be tough for them to keep up this pace with this show? They've had nights off like last night.
Right. I mean, hopefully it should. Everyone can just sort of take a breather, reset, get fresh, and then going down to Morehead's always tough. I mean, they've owned us for the past 2 years. We finally got a win down there against them, so hopefully we can go down there and get another win going. But if they can keep this up, they're gonna have to. Somebody's gonna have to truly outplay them to take the second half.
Well, and it's going to be a race between them and Holly Springs right now. Pilots in action Friday night down at Morehead City. They're back home against Morehead here Saturday night. That's a great game, home fans, to get out of here. A Saturday night ball game at War Memorial Stadium against the Marlins. That's a fun matchup. Sunday, they're on the road against Wilson. That's not too far for you fans that want to go down and catch a Sunday night ball game there. Back home here on the they're at Tri-Cities on the 26th. That may be a doubleheader on the 26th.
Yes.
And then you have the 27th, they're home against these same Chili Peppers. Then they have the Wilson Tobbs at home on the 28th. 29th, they're on the road at Martinsville. Probably the last time they see Martinsville.
Yep, it is the last time we see Martinsville.
And then the last week, Wilmington at home on Sunday. Tri-Cities away, Tri-Cities at home. Wilmington again, and then the next last game's Holly Springs.
That's going to be the key. That's
going
to be the key
that
game.
That could be the game that breaks it open. That's down at Holly Springs, and of course back home against. Well, they do have Martinsville to round it up. Playoff set for the 6th through the 12th, and fans, the Pilots behind Hank Morgan have done this before. They've won a cup where they start off fast and continued fast. They've won a cup when they start off slow and got faster. And Hank Morgan's done a heck of a job. There was a couple lows early in June, but man, this lineup he's built and starting to put together and move some guys in and out without any sort of loss of offense.
Yeah, it's one of the best lineups I've seen.
And you got guys like Cisco and Parker that just now really getting up to speed. Now, it's going to be hard to fit them in with Dunaway and start playing so well, but he'll get them in.
Yeah, he will.
And they'll have them available to pinch run in some of these tight games later in the year. So it's shaping up to be a whale of a last 3 weeks here we're right at the beginning of that last third week. So again, we look forward to seeing you here at the ballpark Saturday. We'll need you here. If you happen to be vacationing down in eastern North Carolina, they're at the Big Rock Friday night. That'll be a wild game because Buddy Bingle puts out some great teams down there.
Oh, yeah.
I think they are the Marlins. They play as the Marlins on Friday.
It should be the Marlins, I would think.
Motor Boaters on Thursday, Fish Tacos on Tuesday. So I think it is the Marlins on Friday. Get down and see that there and support the Pilots. Final thoughts as we head into the All-Star break.
First off, good luck to all the All-Stars we have going down. I'm sure they'll have a blast. But the team's just got to stay in this mindset where whatever it is, it's working. Whether they're playing confident and cocky or if they're just going out and everyone's just doing their own job, just stick with it because it's working.
It really is. And, again, we got Calden, Garcia, Dunaway, Dalton Barham. Help me out. Dalton Barham.
Trey Morgan.
Trey Morgan is a pitcher.
Yep.
And one more. Calden was the late ad. Barham, Morgan. Oh, the Rocket.
Yeah, Richard.
Samuel Richard. Now, think about that, Brian. We haven't seen Richard in several games, and yet winning like this with an all-star pitcher ready to go, I guess we'll see him Friday night at the Big Rock.
Well, Richard left, actually.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Richard's gone.
Well, I'm sorry to see that because he was really pitching well as he got going. So, all right, well, congratulations for earning that spot, but sorry we don't have the Rocket to go to as we get moving. All right, folks, we'll need your support. Pilots need you as they head into this second half and try to get that second playoff spot. Once they're in the playoffs, Brian, it's anybody's ball game.
Yep, that's right.
Especially if they can get a couple from Morehead City this week.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, I want to thank my crew, Wube Gabray, Brian Waller. Certainly want to thank Dominion Power, Dominion Energy, for their support of our post-game show and of the Pilots in general. And so thank you all for coming out tonight on a rainy night, and thanks for being with us. Frank Edgar signing off from Hampton. Your final score here, the Peninsula Pilots 12 and the Tri-City Chili Peppers 2. Good night.